to CKND, Winnipeg TV. There have been some changes made since the Jets last played the Canucks at the arena in early February. The Jets provided little opposition that day as they were outworked and outdisciplined in a 4-2 loss. Coach Terry Simpson and GM John Paddock realized they had to change the chemistry of the team, so up came Ian Fraser and Michael Grosek. But that was only window dressing for the bomb they dropped on Wednesday. If the big three weren't going to carry the team, then someone had to go, and it was the popular Teemu Selanne. Selanne dealt to the Mighty Ducks for two promising young players, center Chad Kilger and defenseman Oleg Tverdovsky. The chemistry for success was now hard work and team effort, and it came in wins over Ottawa and Calgary as Mike Stapleton and Captain Chris King led the way. Tonight, it's the acid test as the Jets take on the Canucks in Vancouver, live on CKND, Winnipeg TV. Second of their 3 games this month against the Vancouver Canucks. 9 days ago, the Canucks came into the Jets hangar and scored a rather easy victory, and they'll meet again next Wednesday at the arena, and the game you'll again see on CKND. Now, heading into tonight's game, 7 teams separated by 11 points were chasing the 4 final playoff spots. 3 of those teams, the Flames, Blues, and Kings, all played. Now, the Jets started the night alone in 8th place and now have a chance to move ahead of Calgary into 7th as the Flames lost 3-2 to Washington. L.A. blown out 9-4 by Detroit, so they're still 9th. St. Louis did win, so they've moved a couple of points ahead of the Canucks and into sole position of 5th place. With 2 straight wins, fans have slowly and grudgingly accepted the Selanne trade. Tonight, they'll get their first good look at Tverdovsky and Kilger, and with more on them and tonight's game with the Canucks, let's send you off to Vancouver and join Kurt Kielbach and the goalie himself, John Garrett.
Thanks, Joe. Hello again, everybody. You know, as Joe was mentioning, 4 points separating 2 clubs in 6th and 8th places. Less than 30 games to go. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty.
It really is, and the Winnipeg Jets have to get on this roll, this mini roll that they're on now. Okay, they beat Ottawa at home. Everybody beats Ottawa. Well, almost everybody beats Ottawa. But they go into Calgary and played a very good defensive game, and I think that's what Terry Simpson wants. Good team defense. They held the Flames to only 20 shots on goal, and that's very good. The Flames have been on a roll, and the Jets starting to play that good defensive system.
Tonight, a great opportunity for people at home to study Chad Kilger and Oleg Tverdovsky.
Tverdovsky wears number 6, and the comparisons to the former number 6, Phil Housley. Tverdovsky makes great passes at full speed, much like Phil Housley used to do to Teemu Selanne. And Chad Kilger, if he expects to play in the NHL, and at 19 it's hard to figure out what you have to do, but Kilger has to play a physical game. That's why he was in the first round. That's why he was so highly thought of, because he is a physical presence.
And for the Vancouver Canucks, the big guy is back. Not Pavel Bure, but Alexander McGillney. What a season he's been having.
And he missed 1 game on Saturday night. He was banged up on Friday's game in Edmonton. Brian Marchman hit him, and he crashed into the boards. But McGillney is one of those players that even when you shadow him, even when you have a man on him, he is that talented he can get away. And he's been dangerous almost every time he's had the puck in key situations this year for the Vancouver Canucks.
Third meeting between these clubs, not surprisingly, the Jets won here and the Canucks won in Winnipeg.
The Canucks have had problems here at GM Place. They have one of the worst worst home records in the league. But the Jets' power play let them down last game. They were ahead 1-0 early in the game. They had a power play chance after Chris King took on Tim Hunter, and they did nothing. And I think they have to get their special teams going here tonight.
Well, we'll hear what Gary Wilson and Joe Pascucci have to say in a moment. You're tuned to the Jets and the Canucks here on CKND, Winnipeg TV.
Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by the home of the Big Buy, Jim Gauthier Chevol's Geo Cadillac.
What are you doing there?
In today's world of beers, Molson Special dries in a world all its own. There's a very simple reason why there's nothing more reliable than MTS Advantage 800 service. It's not the fact that even our backup systems have backup systems, or that a call can be routed through 8 million alternate routes if there's a problem. It's because if it isn't reliable,
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
you might as well do this to your business. Advantage 800. Everything in business should be this reliable.
The Big Easy at Jim Gauthier. What is it? Well, basically, it's just a simple system whereby you and the big guy share ownership in a vehicle for 2, 3, 4 years. When the term is up, you've got 3 options to choose from. You can either purchase the vehicle at a guaranteed low price, you can take out another for 2, 3, or 4 years, or you can simply walk away. The Big Easy, part of the package here at Jim Gauthier Chevrolet Geo Cadillac, home of the big buy.
On McPhillips, north of Inkster.
Son, you know why McDonald's calls this the Hockey Hero Burger?
No, Dad, why?
3 all-beef patties, 3 periods of hockey.
Yeah.
Monterey Jack and cheddar processed cheeses, home team visitors. Tomato, face-off circle, home-style bun, arena where it all takes place.
And the sauce, that's the ice surface right there?
No. The sauce has flavor, son. Works nicely with the lettuce.
The Hockey Hero Burger for a limited time.
Have you had your break today?
General Motors Place, where the Canucks now call home and where the Winnipeg Jets want to get 2 points tonight. Welcome back, everybody. Joining us now is Kerry Wilson, former NHLer. And Kerry, first off, let's get your thoughts on the big trade, Teemu Selanne trade.
Well, Joe, as a Winnipegger, I was saddened by the trade. I've seen what Teemu's come in and done for this city. He's brought his heart and soul to Winnipeg. He's broken a lot of NHL records, and he's given this city a lot of very, very fond memories, and it would have been nice to see Teemu Selanne leave with the Winnipeg Jets to Phoenix so that those memories would still be with us. But unfortunately, that is gone by the boards now, but I still think he will leave a large piece here in Winnipeg.
I think if Teemu Selanne was playing half as good as he was in his rookie year, he'd still be with the hockey team right now. And I think that's one of the reasons John Paddock made the trade, that he just felt that Teemu Selanne wasn't working. Selanne had gotten assurance from the new owners that he wasn't going to be traded, and then went out and had one of the worst games of the season.
Well, it's true, and John Paddock's got to do his job and look out for the best of the franchise now and in the future. And I think he's taken care of a little bit of both there. He feels he's given his team a kick in the pants that may help them make a run for the playoffs right now, and also he's definitely done that for the future of this club. They've got 2 young players that they can really build on.
Everybody's pulling up the slack, so to speak, but no more than Mike Stapleton. He's been awesome the last 2 games.
He has. He's done a superb job. He's a very hard worker. You don't notice him that much out there, but he's really doing the job that's expected of him. Playing the role, hard worker, hard checker, making things happen, and right now he's been putting the puck in the net too.
All right, and he's certainly been setting up Chris King, who won't be in the Jets lineup tonight. Let's send you out to Vancouver. The first period, Kurt Keelback and John Garrett, take it away.
The Winnipeg Jets and the Vancouver Canucks from General Motors Place, the third meeting. The Jets were 4-1 victors here in October, and the Canucks were 4-2 victors in Winnipeg 9 days ago. In goal tonight for the Winnipeg Jets, Nikolai Hababulin, an outstanding season. He has played all the games against the Canucks as a record of 1-1. And standing opposite Corey Hirsch, his 16th consecutive game since Kirk McLean went out with injury, and he'll continue to play at least into next week when McLean may well return. The referee tonight is Don Kowarski, and working the lines, Wayne Bonney and Brad Lazarowicz. Trevor Linden and Chad Kilger for the opening faceoff. It goes back to Manson. He gives to Tverdovsky. Puts it out to center. Grabbed there by Jelena. Jelena moves in across the jet line. Running to Mike and Chuck. Kilger dumps it all the way down the ice. And going back to get it is Merza, and that'll be icing when he arrives.
Good hit by Keith Tkachuk on Martin Jelena to get right involved in this game. Keith Tkachuk with a big hit. Terry Simpson looks on. His team played a very good defensive game in Calgary, and that's what he wanted. And Pierre Pagé talked about how disciplined the Jet team was against his red-hot Flames. And the Flames not so hot anymore, as now they've gone 4 games without a win. And the trade has really, I think, helped Terry Simpson, because now he can stress team rather than the big 3 as it was before.
Here's Lume. That's a weak shot go through, and it's smothered by Hababulin. They've got a line out there that's got a lot of beef to it, too. And when you look at Tkachuk in the company that he's keeping now with Doan and Kilger.
Yeah, but they're two 19-year-olds, and that's something that Terry Simpson has to address. He's playing them with Keith Tkachuk, trying to make sure that he has one veteran and an experienced forward out with the two 19-year-olds.
Kilger and Linden. It goes into the corner. Manson puts it around for Tkachuk. He dumps it out to center ice. Doan gives chase. Merzen will get there first. Merzen manages to flip it out to center ice. Tkachuk dumps it in, and going back again is Merzen. Merzen gets it over to Linden. Linden works it into the middle at center, takes it over the line, dropped it to Jelena. Jelena looks across for Lume. Lume trying to center. That was blocked. And it's picked up and taken away by Doan. He's got Tkachuk wide left, trying to get it to him. And it went off a player and offside.
Keith Tkachuk got used to playing with Teemu Selanne and Alexei Zhamnov, and then Terry Simpson changed the lines around. That was early in the season. The last time that the Winnipeg Jets were here at GM Place, the big three played as a line, and it was Nikolai Hababulin who stole that show, stoning the Canucks in the first period, and the Jets came on and carried it away in the final two. And the future of the Winnipeg Jets, I don't think they could keep the big three together, and they decided which two they were going to keep, and it was Alexei Zhamnov and Keith Tkachuk.
Here's McGillney trying to get out, stopped there by Zhamnov. It goes into the corner. Now Ronning trying to get out. It's worked over, picked up by Korolev, trying it back for Zhamnov, taken away by McGillney. McGillney gets it to Rawlene. Rawlene gains the jet line, put it back to Ronning. A shot off the backboard. Hit Newman in the back. McGillney trying to dig it out. There's going to be a penalty to the Jets. Here's Ronning trying to escape Zhamnov. Newman will touch it. And the Canucks will go on the power play.
And it looks like Jeff Finley on Alexander McGillney. The Jets trying to play or pay particular attention to Alexander McGillney, and away from the puck, Jeff Finley on Alexander McGillney reaches out with one hand on the stick, and Don Kowarski is right there to make the holding call.
Canucks have not scored on the power play against the Jets this year, 0 for 14. They send out Linden, Jelena, McGillney, Babbage is out there, and O'Coin. Off the draw, McGillney back to O'Coin, to McGillney, across now, here's Babbage, moving in, shot, score!
That goal banged in by Trevor Linden. Good face-off by Linden to start the play. McGillney across to Babbage. Babbage with the great low shot. It hits Martin Jelena and goes to Trevor Linden. And he just whacks away at it and goes in. It hits Jelena's skate, goes up to Linden. Did it hit Linden? Or did it go in off Daryl Shannon? It might have gone in off Daryl Shannon's skate. Trevor Linden was right there waving at it. I don't know whether he made contact.
1-0 Vancouver, the power play goal at 1:37.
Vancouver goal is 24th of the season.
24th of the year. Here's Turcotte's shot. Now it goes back to the blue line with it there, McIver. Linden's 24. Turcotte, it's offside.
Good traffic in front of the net, and a smart play by Dave Babbage. The Canucks power play has been dismal at home, but Dave Babbage has been out for a long time. He had a broken foot. He was out for a month, a little over a month. And he's a good point man on the power play. The people in Winnipeg who have seen him over the years remember Dave Babbage and a good hard shot, and he always keeps it down. The forwards aren't afraid to go to the front of the net when he's shooting because they know it's going to be a nice low shot.
Babbage has it now, puts it across to O'Coin. Approached by Shannon. Puck goes ahead to center ice. Baranek gets it over to Stoyanov. Moves in on the left side, trying to get by McIver. Knocked it in behind Daryl Shannon. Gets it around to his brother Darren. He's hammered to the ice by O'Coin. Loose puck. It goes back to the blue line. Here's the shot by Baranek. Knocked down. And play has been called.
That's a glove pass in front of Nikolai Habibulin as Rick Lee has Joseph Vranek playing with Alex Stoyanov and Jim Sandlak. Esa Tikkanen still out with his wonky knee. Rick Lee's trying to get his team to play the same way at home as they do on the road. They have one of the best road records in the league, top 6 teams. And yet at home, they're in the bottom 6 at home. He says they try and get too fancy. They try and put on a show in the new building and forget about the defensive side of the game.
Kilger goes after it, missed it. Now it's grabbed by Hunter. Hunter manages to avoid a hit from Tkachuk. It's dumped into the chip zone. Back to get it, Tverdovsky. Puts it up the boards. Stopped there momentarily by Hunter. Now goes back to Merzen, a shot. Lows puck Nansen. Looking ahead. Pass went by Doan all the way down, and back to get it is Merzen. Watched by Doan, Lume. Around now for Merzen. Stopped by Tkachuk. Tkachuk flips it back in, and with it again is Lume. 3 minutes gone in the opening period. The Canucks lead it 1-0. A power play goal by Trevor Linden. Here's Numminen. Numminen straight up the middle. Dumps it in. Going after it is Drake. Lume will get there first. Lume's pass for Jelena. Off him, stopped by Finley. Dumped back in, and with it now is Merzen. Merzen tries to clear. Drake looking for some help. It goes loose. Now it's picked up by Courtnall. He can move. Trying to go one-on-one against Numminen. Numminen knocked it away. It's in behind the net. And Jamnov gets it on the left side to Korolev. Korolev back to Jamnov. He gains the line. Jamnov to Korolev. A shot. And it was blocked in front. Now Rolleen trying to clear. Can't. Numminen from the blue line. Gets it in. Drake back. McIver's drive. That's why. Drake with it again. For Korolev, lets it go. Linden picks it up to Courtnall. Courtnall puts it back. Korolev in behind. Drake trying to dig it out of the corner against Hennigan. Hennigan knocks it to Courtnall. Trying it for Rolleen. Rolleen with Linden. Trying it for Linden. Linden gains the line. Looking for Jelena. It was wide open on the left side. Couldn't get it through. Now Stapleton upped it to center. And back with it is Babbage. Babbage into Jelena. Jelena's pass to Ronning. Ronning manages to worm his way among 3 Jet defenders, but to no avail. It was offside.
What are you doing there?
Today's world of beers, Molson Special Dries in a world all its own.
Hi, I'm Gerald Wilcox. As you may know, I play a little football here in Manitoba. I've realized to be the best at what you do, to be a true professional and winner, requires a lot of hard work and dedication. And a real competitive attitude sure doesn't hurt. You know who's got it, don't you?
You got it, Park Pontiac.
The difference is, you got it, the people at Park Pontiac.
Jets have done pretty well against the Vancouver Canucks. 3-1-1 in the last 5 games. And in a couple of those, their goaltender, Nikolai Habibulin, has been the first star. And that's a confidence booster for a goaltender. It doesn't matter so much for the other players when you don't play in a month or so, but for a goaltender, you get that superstition going that you always play well against a certain team.
Here's Turcotte. He scores! Darren Turcotte makes it 1-1.
Here's the turnover by Teppo Numminen, but he fights it back, and this creates a 2-on-1. Gino Ojic can't get back. Turcotte fake pass, and what a move by Turcotte. Left-hand shot down the right side, fakes, and then goes to the backhand. Corey Hirsch took away the bottom of the net. Turcotte saw it coming right underneath the bar.
Now Stapleton puts it down deep. Babbage goes after it behind his net, trying to clear. That's stopped by Turcotte. Turcotte into Darren Shannon. Shannon is checked by Babbage, and it's pounced upon by Ronning. He works his way to center ice. Drives it into the jet zone. And the bullet kicks it into the corner. Centering effort grabbed by McGillney. McGillney is checked. Turcotte sticks with him. Now McGillney goes after it again. In behind the net. Puts it on the boards. Stapleton trying to poke it free. It's grabbed by Ronning. He's shot. Knocked down. Turcotte. Around to the boards, and it goes all the way down the ice. Back to get it is Merzen. And we're going to have a penalty.
Gino Ojic is going for boarding on Darren Turcotte, and Don Kowarski told Gino he jumped at him, and he does. And Turcotte, good solid hit, but Turcotte was all right. Gino jumped off his feet. Had he just stayed on his feet, he would have got away. That was a good solid hit, but he jumped at him and takes the boarding penalty. And there's Darren Turcotte, a little grimace on the bench. Fakes on the forehand, and that froze Corey Hirsch. When Turcotte had that puck on his forehand, he faked the shot, froze the goaltender, and then got it to his backhand up and under the bar.
Merzen dumps it into the jet zone. Back to get it is Numminen. Numminen is back with McIver. Zhamnov up front with Tkachuk and Stapleton. The power play for Winnipeg. Zhamnov looks across for Tkachuk. Tkachuk back, Numminen shot. Hirsch has it somewhere and just remains immobile, waiting for the whistle. So we have a winner in our Safeway Score and Win contest. Helen Schwu entered a ballot and included a label from Purex bathroom tissue. As a result, Helen, I'm sorry about that last name, the way I said it anyway, is one of Texas Instruments personal organizer.
Don't look at me. I couldn't help you out on that one.
Here's Numminen shot. That's blocked. Zhamnov. Tkachuk is in front of the net, down on all fours.
And Tkachuk is getting the interference penalty. And Keith Tkachuk going hard to the net. And Tkachuk didn't like the call. He thought he was interfered with by Jyrki Lumme. But it's Tkachuk who goes out for interference. Tkachuk's going to the net. He's pushed, but he bumps into Hirsch. The shot wasn't coming through. Dana Merzen hardly touched Keith Tkachuk, and Don Kowarski makes the interference call.
So it's 4-on-4, and will be for a minute 34 seconds. The Jets officially now 0 for 1 on a power play with a 26-second man advantage. That's all it lasted. Zhamnov and Ronning face off. It goes back into the Vancouver zone. Rawlene is back with Hennigan. Ronning is up front with McGillney. It's sent out to center ice. In with it there, Tverdovsky. Puts it over to Manson. Zhamnov working that against Rawlene, and they hold it in against the boards.
4-on-4 hockey, and Alexei Zhamnov out for Terry Simpson. A little more open ice. And Kurt, without Teemu Selanne, now do you think negotiations with Alexei Zhamnov will become much easier?
I don't know if they're going to become easier. He's got to pick up his play. He has not played well at all. And now the onus is really on him to come through with a better effort. Here's Manson with it now. Manson gets it back right by Ronning. It goes to Zhamnov. Zhamnov works to center ice. Now gets in across the line, pokes it down deep. It's sent around, stopped at the blue line. Tverdovsky in for Korolev. Knocked away from him, stopped at the blue line. Tverdovsky checked by McGillney. It goes across for Ronning. Knocked in by Manson. Ronning over to Hennigan. Hennigan's pass, rink wide, too far for McGillney. And there to get it is Manson. 6:45 gone in the opening period. It's a 1-1 tie. They're playing for a side. Ronning is checked by McIver. And with it, McGillney. He lost it to Korolev. Korolev is, in turn, lost it to Hennigan. A hit for McGillney. Relay picked off by Newman and gets it to Zhamnov. In his shot. Taken in behind the net. And dumped out to center. Drake puts it across to McIver. McIver gains the line, lets it go. And the save by Hirsch. Linden puts it into the middle, and going back is Fraser. to McIver. Back to Fraser. Ahead for Drake. Stopped by Linden. Linden's pass. Jelena gives chase down deep. Looks back. Now McIver just dumps it all the way down the ice as the Canucks have a short situation with a man advantage. Here's Babbage. Tkachuk now steps out of the penalty box. Gets it to Courtnall. It goes to Linden. Linden is checked by Daryl Shannon. Shannon in behind his goal. Kicks it to the corner. Linden back to the point. Babbage. Babbage puts it down to the corner. Courtnall. Back to Babbage. Traffic in front. Puck goes free. And with it is Drake. Tried it for Tkachuk. Knocked down. Babbage comes back for Vancouver. Pass went off Courtnall. And the Canucks yelling up. Tried it for Babbage. Into the middle, Linden. He's checked. Now Tkachuk trying to work his way through. Jelena takes it away. Puts it back into the neutral zone. Newman is there. He pumps it in. Luke around for Sandlak. Jelena, center ice. Dumped into the Jet zone. Bullet leaves it there for Newman. Newman looks for Korolev. Korolev moves to center ice. Put it to an open wing. Kilger knocked it in behind the net. Korolev battling for it there. It goes to Sandlak. Sandlak trying to get it out. Now Shamrock to Drake. Back to the point. Here's Daryl Shannon shot. Here's Drake on the rebound. That's knocked down, and with it is Baranek. He moves to center. Dumps it into the Jet zone. Have a bullet for Daryl Shannon. Into the corner. Baranek. Back for Stoyanov. Centering pass. Shamnov got back. Shamnov is checked. Now Baranek. He lost it. Daryl Shannon ahead for Korolev. He's got Drake with him. Korolev now dropped it off to McIver. Popped into the corner. Merzen there against Korolev. Lume dumped it out to center and beyond. And going back to get it is the speedy Oleg Tverdovsky. On the left side, it's dumped out to center ice, and back for it is Hedekett. Dumped out to center. Manson, the midway point in the opening period of a 1-1 hockey game. We've got 4 minutes without a stoppage in play. Puck at center ice. Walker puts the pass ahead. The save by Hababulin. Tim Hunter set up beautifully by himself. And the save by Nikolai Hababulin. Puck in behind the net. It goes to the corner. Manson knocks it free. And with it is Fraser. The center ice for Winnipeg. That's dumped in. And going back is Hedekett. And finally a stoppage as it's icing against the Winnipeg Jets. 9:27 left in period one. The score 1-1.
It may happen today. It may happen tomorrow. And if it does, you'll be glad you have a CAA Manitoba membership.
If it wasn't for you, I'd be here forever.
When problems happen, we'll be there to help, providing the finest emergency road service. Tomorrow, hundreds of Manitobans will be reminded why they have a CAA membership.
It really saves me every winter, every winter.
For everywhere you go today, go with CAA.
There's only one way to beat winter in Manitoba. Four-wheel drive from Winnipeg Jeep Eagle. The 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee is Canada's best all-terrain vehicle, combining safety, elegance, and 4x4 toughness. The Jeep Cherokee, still Manitoba's favorite four-wheel drive utility vehicle. And don't forget the Eagle Talon, the all-wheel drive sports car. Sure-footed traction in all conditions, plus the guaranteed lowest prices and lowest lease rates at Winnipeg Jeep Eagle, Western Canada's largest volume Jeep Eagle dealership. 1430 Ellis, just a slap shot from the arena.
Tim Hunter's on a roll. He got his first goal of the year Friday night in Edmonton. He's set up by Jim Dowd. He's on the forehand. He's just trying to get it to the net. And what a save by Nikolai Hababulin in close. Tim Hunter couldn't get it up and over that pad.
Here's Rawlene at the blue line. A shot that went off a body, picked up down by Ronning. Ronning trying to escape Kilger. Goes in behind the net. Kilger. Now Ronning. Hababulin thought it had got behind him. It was sitting in front. Now object shot. That is Kowarski. Here's McGillney. Newman took it away from him. And with it is Tkachuk. Kachuk dumps it all the way down, and back to get it is Hedeka, and that'll be icing against the Jets. Habibulin a little uncertain on that one, but he'd made the save.
Kept the leg tight on the ice on the wraparound try and was able to make the save. And the problem when you have two 19-year-olds on the ice at the same time, when you do start to run around, it takes a while for them to calm down. And Doan and Kilger both out the wraparound, and yet they're still running around. Kilger's gone by it. Chance for Cliff Ronning. Good, strong right leg. Even though Habibulin had no idea where it was, he kept that right leg tight to the ice. And that's why he was able to make that save.
Igor Korolev comes out now for the Winnipeg Jets. You know, the last time the Jets were here, he was the leading goal scorer in the NHL. The 11th game of the season, he had 10. Goal scoring's been a little more difficult for him since the beginning.
He had players who get on rolls and then they get injured and they just can't seem to get it back, and that was the case with Korolev, and missed a few games, and then when he did come back, he just couldn't find that momentum that he had early in the season. Roman Oksuta is a guy here with Vancouver, the same sort of thing. Was hot, and then he got hurt, couldn't come back. You look around the league, and there's players like that just about on every team. Eddie Olczyk, same thing. He was just on fire, and then he got hurt, missed a couple of games, and now he can't even get back into the lineup.
Off the draw, quick shot, saved by Habibulin on the shot by Courtnall, as Linden had won the faceoff. Now McIver gives it to Korolev. He puts it over. Drake is stripped of the puck by Jelena. Jelena moves in, his pass, that's broken up. And Drake dropped it off to Korolev. Back it goes to Drake. Penalty coming to the Canucks. Drake takes it deep, looks for the trailers. Yandov shot. Hirsch the save, and it brings about a stoppage.
We got a little power problem here at GM Place.
Winter's here, and it's time to ask yourself, does your battery have the juice to get you started when you really need it? Do your tires have the traction you need for slippery situations? Only Canadian Tire offers MotoMaster batteries and tires to get you going in any situation. All at the everyday low prices you'd expect from Canada's automotive store. Canadian Tire. There's a lot more for your car for a lot less.
So, you know why McDonald's calls this the Hockey Hero Burger?
No, Dad, why?
3 all-beef patties, 3 periods of hockey.
Yeah.
Monterey Jack and cheddar processed cheeses, home team visitors. Tomato, face-off circle, home-style bun, arena where it all takes place.
And the sauce, that's the ice surface, right, Dad?
No. Sauce adds flavor, son. Works nicely with the lettuce.
The Hockey Hero Burger for a limited time.
Have you had your break today?
Russ Courtnall, after a good scoring chance, ends up in the penalty box. An interference call on Alexei Zhamnov away from the play. He hauled him down. Draw right to Courtnall. Quick shot. And again, that quick right foot by Nikolai Habibulin. Pete Peters, I remember when he first told me about Nikolai Habibulin, he said, you won't believe the quickness of his legs. And we've seen a couple of examples tonight.
Here's Zhamnov now. The Jets on a power play. Kachuk's in front. Zhamnov puts it back to Newman. Newman into McIver. Kachuk still in front. Back to Newman. Over to McIver. His pass broken up. And Newman has to go back to center. 1-1 the score. The Jets of the power play. 8:14 left in the opening period. Newman drives it into the Vancouver zone. Lume can't corral it. It goes to McIver. McIver checked by Linden. And he dumps it the distance. Back forward is Newman. Pass to Zhamnov. Zhamnov is cut off by Merzen. And the puck run out of play. Zhamnov had kind of turned around there looking for the puck, and Merzen took full advantage.
Dana Merzen stands up. Alexei Zhamnov has trouble with that pass. It's in too tight. The Canucks thought that Jason Cullimore was going to take Dana Merzen's job this year. They were counting on it, but Dana Merzen showed his competitiveness and has kept his edge, and that's why he's still playing. He's the only physical defenseman, really, that the Canucks have. They thought Cullimore was going to be able to do it. Dean Malcock, who is a tough guy, but not good enough to play, and Merzen is about the only hitter they have back on the blue line.
Here's Tkachuk deep in his zone for Winnipeg. Pokes it ahead, goes after it, now sends it across for Stapleton, dropped off to Newman. Newman gains the line, dumps it in deep. Merson goes after it with Tkachuk. It's stopped by Stapleton to Zhamnov. Zhamnov takes a look in front, feeds the point. With it there, Newman. Over now to McIver. Here's Zhamnov. Newman, his shot. And it went over top. Zhamnov behind the net for Tkachuk. Dug out by Stapleton to Zhamnov. Zhamnov's pass broken up. Fights off a check. Zhamnov puts it back now. With it there, Stapleton. Stapleton's pass that went wide of McIver, and he has to go back for it. 20 seconds left in the penalty to Russ Courtnall. Puck ahead to center ice. Doan dumped it in. Back for it is Babbage. He clears it away, and that'll do it. Here's Manson. Tried the pass for Tverdovsky. Now it goes to Doan. Doan moves in. His shot. Rebound in front. Puck into the corner. Manson with it. The penalty is over. Manson dumps it at the net. Babbage kicks it away. 3-on-2. The Canucks start out. Courtnall is checked by Manson. Now it goes to Korolev. Stopped at the line. Sent back to center. Manson drives it in. Linden had it go by, and with it is Manson. Pass went all the way down the ice. Babbage back. It's not icing. Here's Shelanov. Gets it ahead to Ronning. Ronning gains the jet line. Stops, spins, puts it in deep. Daryl Shannon goes after it there. Gets the pass dumped at the blue line. Now McIver dumped it to center. 1-1 the score. Just under 6 minutes left in the opening period. Daryl Shannon to McKenzie. McKenzie looks ahead to Fraser. Trying to feed him the pass. Cut off by Hennigan. Now McIver gains the line. McIver lets it go, and it went off Rawleen. And it's out of play.
This week at Canadian Tire, you can get a 28-point inspection, oil, lube, filter, and tire rotation, all for just $19.99. Offer ends soon, so hurry into Canadian Tire today.
Dave Manson had a good scoring chance on a rebound, and the Canucks were fortunate that it was tipped just before Manson got to it.
Here's Hennigan. Gets the pass to Ojek. Flipped it rink wide. McGillney with running. McGillney gains the line. Looks back. Here's Ojek. Shot. They hit the goal, folks. Ojek gets it again. Puts it to the corner. Tverdovsky poked it ahead for Stapleton. That stop. McGillney shot. Save Habibulin. And the rebound is cleared away. The quick feed of Nikolai Habibulin. Evident once again. Here's Ojek. He stopped. Puck goes out anyway. Stapleton has it. Gives it to Turcotte. Turcotte's pass to Darren Shannon. He puts it in deep. Stapleton after it again along with Ojek. Ojek sends it out to McGillney. McGillney looks for some help. McGillney now tries to do it himself. Is cut off at the line. It goes to Darren Shannon, and he dumps it away. Lume back for Vancouver to Stoyanov. Stoyanov is run into by Drake. Puck goes free to Baranek. He puts it in deep. Ojek, Sandlak it is, trying to flip it in behind the net. It goes to the corner. Baranek chased by Finley. Pass cut off by Newman. And Newman gets it outside the zone. Knocked ahead by Drake. Merson is there. Merson's pass stopped. Back with it, Daryl Shannon to McIver. Back to defenseman Shannon. Pass. Zhamnov goes after it. Zhamnov quickly cutting it around the defense. Saved by Herbst. Puck goes free. Puck in the corner. Here's Drake. Drake takes it behind the goal. Drake claiming he was caught high by a stick. Kowarski says you weren't. Here's Daryl Shannon against Merson. It goes back to Courtnall. To Lume. He dumps it all the way down the ice. Back to get it is Shannon. And it's icing against the Vancouver Canucks. This is your Molson Hockey Telecast.
At Vernas Auto Body, they know your car is more than just a car. It's one of your largest investments. And since you wouldn't let just anyone drive it, why would you let just anyone fix it? Vernas Auto Body has over 40 years experience utilizing only state-of-the-art equipment and the highest quality products. And now as a member of Auto Pro Collision, you can receive immediate financing through our National Auto Pro credit card to assist you in large repairs or simply help with your deductible. For your next auto body repair, trust all the work to Vernas Auto Body, setting the standard in auto body repair.
Whether you're warming up or hitting full stride, you want to look and feel your best. At Athletes Wear, we've got the best selection for all your clothing and footwear needs. No trail is too tough to tackle in these Reebok Cliffhanger hiking boots. Lightweight and comfortable with great cushioning and suede uppers. These Reebok boots are specially priced right now. Athletes Wear, still the right choice.
The choice is there. Athletes Wear.
Alexei Zhamnov makes a great play to get around Jyrki Lumme, but he's in too close, and this is an easy poke check for Corey Hirsch. He gets the Johnny Bauer style down, but Zhamnov was in close. Jyrki Lumme with a stick wrapped right around Dallas Drake. No call from Don Koharski.
Now the puck is down into the Jets zone. Jelena trying to work by Tverdovsky. Throws it across. Babbage goes after it with Tkachuk. Babbage holds it in. And now it's knocked to center ice. With it there, Tverdovsky trying to go through. A coin goes with him down into the corner. Tverdovsky frees it. Now it's taken away by the Canucks. Out to center ice. Here's Courtnall trying to beat Manson to Jelena. Pass for Linden. Couldn't control it. Linden back down to Courtnall. Courtnall's shot. A pass for a coin he couldn't contain. Jelena down in the corner. Kicked it free. Linden. Here's Linden with it. Linden takes a look. Goes back to the line. Traffic in front trying to feed Jelena. He did. Jelena tries once, can't. Tries twice. Can't get the puck through. And now it's taken out to center ice by Chad Kilger. Over to Shane Doe. Looking for Kilger in front. They score! It looked as though it was going to be a pass, but it wound up bouncing in.
It ended up in the net, and it was supposed to be a pass. Bartej Jelena tries the shot again, and it's blocked by Kilger, goes right to Tkachuk. This creates a 2-on-1. Kilger and Doan. Fake shot off Dave Babbage. The pass goes off Dave Babbage and right through Corey Hirsch. Doan is trying to set up Kilger, and Babbage goes down to block the pass, but chips it by his own goaltender.
Doan from Kilger and Tkachuk. The Jets have a 2-1 lead. Puck goes back into the Vancouver zone. With it there is Hennigan. Around for McGillney. Into Ronning. Ronning goes by Newman. Here's Ronning in deep. His pass. And it goes back onto the stick of Newman, who starts back quickly for Winnipeg. Gets it back. Eastwood shot. And it went wide. Here's McKenzie. Puts it out in front of the net. Kicked in by now Newman takes it at center ice. His pass goes to Eastwood. Back. Fraser's shot that was blocked. And taken away for Vancouver now is down for Ronning. Ronning lost it. Shannon dumps it out over center ice. Merzen with it. Merzen's pass straight up the middle. That's Grant moving it. McGillney makes save again by Hababulin on the breakaway by the third leading goal scorer in the league. Here's Zhamnov. Zhamnov goes around the defense. They score! Dallas Drake.
Nikolai Hababulin playing well, but he's getting some breaks. Cliff Ronning, instead of shooting, tries to set up Jim Dowd. Throws it behind him. McGillney on a breakaway. Hababulin, great save, and immediately the Jets turn it around. Norm McIver off the boards, and Alexei Zhamnov is really flying here in the first period. Goes right around Dana Merzen to Dallas Drake, and Corey Hirsch gets a good piece of it, but it just trickles through the pads again and over the line.
So the Jets take a 3-1 lead into the last minute of the opening period. Here's Baranek behind his goal. Penalty coming to the Winnipeg Jets as soon as McIver gets back. So we've got a couple of winners on our Safeway Score and Win. Mark Thomas is a winner by including an Eagle brand and condensed milk proof of purchase and entering at Safeway. Mark has won a Mikasa 20-piece dinnerware set. In our winner on the third goal, the one just scored by Dallas Drake on that maneuver by Alexei Zhamnov. Our winner is Rhonda Loeb of Beausejour. Rhonda entered Score and Win at Safeway along with a proof of purchase from General Mills Bugles. Congratulations, you won a Gold Star StarTouch 2 VCR.
Derek Shannon off for interference on Adrian Aucoin, and Aucoin didn't like the play. Dallas Drake jumped up into the play. He read it very well. He saw that Alexei Zhamnov was going to beat Dana Merzen, and he jumped into the middle, anticipating the play by Zhamnov, and it was right there. Zhamnov goes around Merzen, and Drake goes right to the net. Stick on the ice, doesn't stop it. Corey Hirsch had no chance to get set.
Here's Manson behind his goal. Gets it to Stapleton. Can't clear. The Canucks with a man advantage. Here's Aucoin moving in. Lets it go. Knocked away by Hababulin. Eastwood dumps it all the way down the ice. 30 seconds left in the period. Fans are getting on Corey Hirsch.
What have you done for me lately? This is his 16th straight start. He's played very well.
Here's Yelena. Puts it in. Now Darryl Shannon. Babbage gets the puck in. Well, he didn't. It goes down to Stapleton. Stapleton gains the line. Trying to work against Aucoin. Babbage seemed to stop and apologize to Dallas Drake after he knocked him down. Here's Yelena's long shot. And that runs out the period.
Key saves at key times for Nikolai Hababulin and cashing in for the Winnipeg Jets. A couple of good bounces, but some good plays. And Alexei Zhamnov must have been listening to you, Kurt, because he had an outstanding first period.
Well, he was flying throughout, and he's led the Jets to this 3-1 lead. In the upcoming intermission, Joe Pascucci will be speaking with our analyst, Kerry Wilson. We'll also have the MTS NHL scoreboard and highlights of the Los Angeles Kings game with the Detroit Red Wings. The score after one period of play is the Winnipeg Jets 3, the Vancouver Canucks 1. You're tuned to the Jets on CKND Winnipeg TV.
Now, Petro Points is even more rewarding. Use your Petro Points membership card and you could win thousands of points prizes instantly. Or 1 of 10 new Plymouth Breezes. Almost 600 Petro Points members will win every day. You might win a new Plymouth Breeze. Then again, you might win all 10.
Oh, Harold, not again.
Petro Points, the points program for your car from Canada's gas station.
It's comforting to know there is a better route. WestJet. From just $79 one way to Edmonton. WestJet. Way to go.
We came up from Louisiana to Montreal to play at the festival. We were ready to go, but we noticed that our most important instrument was missing right before the show. We had to do something. I wasn't even sure they took Visa.
Do you take Visa?
Pardon me? Visa. I hope you'll take it.
Of course. We only take Visa.
Used more often than any other card in the world. Visa. It's the only card you need.
Your car's hood has been designed to buckle in the middle, so it won't be pushed back through the windshield in an accident. It helps keep you safe. But if your car is repaired and reinforced incorrectly, the next time it won't buckle and you won't be protected. Fixing today's cars so they're safe in a collision is a complicated job. At Boyd, our technicians learn the right way. Because your family's safety is riding on us, and nothing is more important.
Boyd Auto Body and Auto Glass.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets leading the Vancouver Canucks 3-1 after 20 minutes of play at GM Place. And Kerry Wilson, 3 players who really haven't been doing a lot of scoring for the Winnipeg Jets this season, score in the first period.
Well, they have. They've come up, and like you say, they haven't been doing a lot of scoring, but these are three guys that the Jets would like to see a little bit more out of. So maybe this is sort of setting a trend here for the rest of this game and more games to come.
Darren Turcott sat out a couple of games. Thought of Coach Terry Simpson and might wake him up, and it certainly did. He's got 3 goals in his last 3 games.
Well, these goals are turning up on miscues that Vancouver's been making. Here it gets zipped up to Darren Turcott. He goes in and makes an excellent move, drops his left shoulder and gets Corey Hirsch to sort of stabilize his legs, pulls it off to the side and puts it right up top.
All right, now we've got the big line of Tkachuk, Kilgore, and Shane Doan, the 2 rookies playing with the veteran, and Doan sometimes still looking to make the pass and trying to get the pass on that goal, ended up scoring.
Well, I think in this situation, I'm sure the coach is screaming, shoot the puck, and you can see already that Doan is starting to think about passing. He makes the fake, he locks his legs in, does try and make the pass across, but lucky enough, I think it catches Dave Babbage a little bit, shifts direction of the puck, goes in between his legs.
And then on the 3rd goal, Alexei Zhamnov, who has been flying the latter half of that period, uses his speed to set up Dallas Drake, and it's always nice to see Dallas Drake score.
Well, a very typical playmaking effort by Zhamnov as he picks it up the boards. Again, all Vancouver players get caught up the ice. Zhamnov picks it up, beats Dana Merzen wide, makes a beautiful pass out to Drake. He just one-times it, and again, I think it goes right between Corey Hirsch's legs. Somebody better get the garage door opener and close that door for him.
Jets haven't had too many breaks this season, but they're getting a lot of breaks in the first period. They lead the Vancouver Canucks by a score of 3-1. Still more to come on our Molson Jets hockey telecast. Coming up next, we'll go between periods. We'll feature Teemu Selanne.
Not surprisingly, wheat farmers prefer the Puma on the left. Puma plus your favorite broadleaf herbicide. For your worst weeds, all you have to do is unleash it.
Retirement's good.
Dad's beating me bad.
Planning my RSP made life easy.
And he makes it look so easy.
Sure glad I had expert advice.
Dad, I need your advice.
Laurentian Bank, son.
Huh?
For 150 years, you've put your trust in us to help you reach your financial goals. And for that, we'd like to say thank you.
First time I'm playing Sports Select, right? 2 games, no problem. 1 more, I win. We're up 1 goal. Seconds left. And then, breakaway. He shoots! What a shot! And I'm thinking, oh no, don't blow it. I've come this far. Don't blow it now. And then...
Go ahead. Then what happened?
Well, he plucked it right out of the air. I won. My first crack at it.
Let's do in the cheese world.
Feta cheese is big, Dave.
Anything else?
Try the pepper jack.
Wow, this would spice up a bacon cheeseburger. Give me 1,000 pounds, sliced.
Okay.
And spice it up he did. It's Wendy's new Pepper Jack Bacon Cheeseburger. A 1/4 pound of fresh ground beef, spicy Pepper Jack cheese, 3 strips of bacon, and the perfect sauce.
Great cheeseburger, Dave.
Sure beats feta.
Sure beats feta.
I just said that.
Come try Wendy's new Pepper Jack Bacon Cheeseburger today.
Promotional consideration provided by...
Start your day with Delco's new Freedom 84 battery. It guarantees you 7 years of worry-free starts.
3 straight goals by the Winnipeg Jets have them out in front of the Vancouver Canucks by a score of 3-1 after the first period. After all the good things he's done here in Winnipeg, it was tough for Jet fans to see Teemu Selanne be traded to the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, but the NHL is a business, and John Paddock felt he had to make a move. But Teemu Selanne leaves Winnipeg with a lot of great memories, and he thrilled us all.
I am the picture of health. I'm low-cal and high-fiber. I'm homogenized and pasteurized. I'm fat-free. So how come I still feel like...
On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Intercepted by Chris King against Carlson. Score! Chris King rips one past Rangers. Second serve, big score. And back, Burke shot tipped. Here's a chance for
Manitobans continue to invest in the Crocus Fund because it protects jobs and strengthens the Manitoba economy. Even as you watch your investment grow, you save on taxes now. Say you invest $1,000. You receive your normal RSP deduction, but more than that, you also receive a 20% provincial tax credit and a 20% federal tax credit. An $800 savings on every $1,000 investment. The Crocus Investment Fund, your best working investment in Manitoba.
If you were to ask what's new on the horizon for wheat growers, we'd have one word. A word that delivers better and more consistent control of wild oats and wild millet. A word that offers you the widest range of tank mixes. A word that gives you a special wild oat rate to save you money. That word is Horizon.
If you're like me, you know the importance of contributing to your RSP. It's one of the most significant financial decisions any of us can make. And that's why you should consider investing with CI mutual funds. At CI, you can choose from a range of 20 Canadian and international funds. And you have the assurance that your RSP will be managed by some of the most respected money managers in the world. Your financial advisor knows CI mutual funds. All you have to do is ask.
circle that's real in the middle.
Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by MTS, Canadian Tire, Winnipeg Jeep Eagle, 1430 Ellisette Arena Road, and by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
Welcome back to the Pacific Coliseum for the second period. It was a productive, pardon me, GM Place. It was a productive first period for the Winnipeg Jets. 3 goals on 9 shots. The Canucks scored the first goal. Linden on the power play at 1:37 from Babbage and McGillney. For Linden is 24th, and Turcotte's 13th from Darren Shannon and Temple Newman, followed by Shane Doan. The go-ahead goal is 6th from Kilger and Kachuk. And a minute 10 later, it was Dallas Drake with his 7th from Zhamnov and McIver. And the Jets have a 3-1 lead going into the second.
And I really think the difference was the goaltending. Nikolai Habibulin made 2 or 3 key saves at key times in that first period. And although it wasn't really Corey Hirsch's fault, he didn't get any bounces, but he didn't make any really great saves either. And the Jets made him count.
Canucks with a man advantage to open up the second period. A minute 10 left in the penalty to Darren Shannon. Here's Raleigh at center. Dumps it down into the Jet zone. Habibulin leaves it there for Newmanen. Newmanen can't get by. Raleigh, Jelena, McGillney. Now it goes to Linden. Linden looks back to the point. Here's Lume's shot. Habibulin at the challenge. And with traffic in front, he managed to contain it.
Darren Shannon in the penalty box for another 50 seconds. Now, you remember Keith Kachuk was called for interference on the goalie in the first period. Now, to me, Martin Jelena is one of the worst offenders in the NHL at interfering with the goaltender. But here's another case where he gets away with it.
So Jelena remains out there on the power play with Linden and McGillney up front. McGillney's pass went back between Lume and Raleigh, and going back is Raleigh. 42 seconds left in the penalty to Shannon. Here's Linden with it. Looks across for Lume. He fires it into the Jet zone. Linden after it in the corner. Newman knocked it free now. McGillney picks it up. McGillney working. Traffic in front again. Here's McGillney in for Jelena. Jelena back from McGillney. And is still lifted, I believe, by Newman. Here's Raleigh at center. It's left now for Stapleton. Stapleton gets to the line, dumps it in, and the Jets make changes. 10 seconds left in the penalty to Darren Shannon. Lume puts it out to Jelena. Stopped by Fraser. Now Lume gets it again. He's checked by Daryl Shannon. Puck goes Fraser, nearly got away. Now Courtnall comes back with it. The Jet penalty is over. Here's Russ Courtnall winding onto center ice. He gains the line, trying to go through, and it's picked up by Eastwood. Eastwood's pass to Daryl Shannon. Into the middle now for Fraser. Stopped by O'Coin. Puck free with it now, Ronning. Ronning looks to Courtnall. Courtnall finds it. Ojek. He's shot. Kicked away by Habibulin. McGino in the corner again. Checked by Manson. He can't clear. O'Coin. His shot blocked. And now the Jets trying to start away. Can't. Ronning turns it around. Flips it back in. Dave Manson. It's flipped out to center ice. Babbage has to wait. Takes his time now. Dumps it in. And going back again is Manson. Manson sends it on the glass. It goes by a coin.
Welcome back. Well, this time it's not a power failure. We've just lost our feed from Vancouver. We are working on getting it back, but until then, Gary Wilson, let's talk about the game a little more. And we're kind of old veterans of this, but I think the Canucks have come out in the second period a little stronger.
Well, they have so far, and we were talking about it before starting this period, that last period seemed to be a real equal opportunity between what both sides were getting for chances on net. And John Garrett mentioned it earlier also as the period started that you know, Corey Hirsch hasn't made the big save, Habib Boulin has made the big save, and that's been the difference. Right now, we're seeing it happen again. The Canucks came out strong. They got some very good opportunities, and Habib Boulin's come up with some big saves.
Well, it's nice to see that Habib Boulin is back to old form and that the Jets are finally getting some breaks. And that's been the story sometimes in their losses, that they've been working hard and then haven't been getting the breaks. We understand we have the feedback from Vancouver, so let's go back out to GM Place.
Here's Tempo Novan into Zhamnov. The shot went wide, and it goes all the way down the ice. We apologize for that. Apparently, we lost our signal for a while. Nothing has changed as far as the score is concerned, 3-1. And Nikolai Habib-Boulin has made another of those brilliant saves in our absence.
Jim Sandlak was in by himself, and Habib-Boulin stood his ground, kept it out.
Here's McIver. Gets it to Zhamnov. Zhamnov back to the blue line. Korolev, he scored! Tkachuk in front. Korolev let the shot go. It's 4-1 Winnipeg.
And this goes off of Keith Tkachuk and in. Winnipeg Jets do a good job. Korolev, Zhamnov, McIver goes back to Korolev. The shot comes through and it goes off Keith Tkachuk's leg and in. But during the GM's meetings, they say now you can even turn your foot and direct it into the net as long as you don't kick it. And Keith Tkachuk, I don't think he turned it. He was just there, as he usually is. Jim Dowd couldn't handle him. And Tkachuk gets a bounce off his leg and in the net.
34th goal of the year for Tkachuk. Here's Tverdovsky. Gets the pass into the middle. It goes to Fraser. Fraser over to Stapleton. Stapleton, rebound. Darren Shannon takes it to the corner. Darren Shannon hangs on, looks, puts it down deep. Here's Stapleton. Knocked from him. Shalonot tied up by Tverdovsky. Shannon holds it in. Knocks it behind the net. With it, there's Fraser. Fraser checked by Luma. It goes to Merzen. Merzen sends it off the glass and all the way down the ice. Going back to get it is Dave Manson, and they are not happy at the garage. 4-1, the Jets lead, 4:05 into period 2.
Nothing added, nothing taken away.
The Toyota 4x4s. Legendary Toyota quality not only lets you go your own way, it makes sure you get there and back.
The Jets score that goal by Keith Tkachuk, and so does Bill Normand of Winnipeg by including a Kleenex facial tissue, proof of purchase, and entering Score and Win at Safeway. Bill has won a set of quality appliances from Tefal.
Winnipeg Jets playing very well on the road. 5-3-1 in January and February, and scoring lots of goals, and they're off to a good start scoring goals here tonight.
4-1. The Jets landed. Here's Ronning. Gets out to center ice. Moves to the Jet line. The puck just seemed to follow him there, and it's offside.
We're talking about that impressive road record of the Winnipeg Jets, and they haven't been easy pickings. The Calgary Flames, the hottest team in the NHL after Christmas. Jets go in there and win. Detroit never loses at home. They go into Detroit and win. And Terry Simpson has the reason why they're winning on the road.
Well, it's one of those inexplicable things that happen, trends that start. I don't know. There was no reason for us early not to win on the road, and really no reason for the change. I think we've played the same way. maybe a little bit better defensively in some games, but we've had some good goaltending to pull out some games on the road.
Here's Merson, fires it into the Jet zone. Around, now it's picked up by McGillney. McGillney goes right through, cuts out the net, the save by Haberbulin. McGillney with it again. Works it over to Lume, shot deflected. And that was beneath the netminder. And he didn't like the way Ojik approached things.
And Don Koharski now is trying to calm things down. McGillney goes right through it. Nikolai Haberbulin, and again, another great save. Stick flat hard on the ice. And then this shot by Jyrki Lume is deflected right in front, and Haberbulin doesn't know where it is. The whistle blows, and there comes Gino Ojik. There's a good, solid stick by Nikolai Haberbulin on McGillney. Key save at a key time. And that's the way he's played tonight. And Haberbulin didn't like the way Ojik came to the net, and I don't blame him. The whistle had gone, and no call from Don Koharski.
Here's McGillney with it again. And it's taken by Tkachuk. He puts it over now. Doan gains the line penalty coming to Vancouver. McGillney and Numanen had been involved behind the play. Now, where Ojik is, anytime the Jets and Canucks meet, as we saw 9 days ago in Winnipeg, trouble tends to be thereabouts. Chris King found that out as well 9 days ago. If you're wondering about Chris King, he went home after practicing yesterday due to an abdominal injury he felt that he had suffered, or there was concern that he had suffered in Calgary. The word is, though, they checked him out today. Everything is fine, and he will play the Jets' next game at home against Pittsburgh.
This week at Canadian Tire, you can get a 28-point inspection, oil, lube, filter, and tire rotation, all for just $19.99. Offer ends soon, so hurry into Canadian Tire today.
Cliff Ronning goes off for slashing, and the Jets have a power play. Here's a call that there was no call on Gino Ojik going to the net, but seconds later, Don Koharski makes a call way behind the play on Cliff Ronning.
Is that, whoops, I missed one of those?
I think that is. I think that's one of those. Okay, I missed that one, but I'll get you.
I'll find one somewhere. So the Jets, who lead the hockey game 4-1, get the man advantage. Stapleton, who's been outstanding. You know, that line of Stapleton, King, and Turcotte have been the Jets' best over the last 2 games. And then open to scoring for them here tonight. King replaced on that line, but Darren Shannon is getting another opportunity to play. Here's Yemnoff. Gets it back to the blue line to McIver. He gives to Numanen, to McIver, to Yemnoff. Back it goes McIver, Numanen, McIver again. Tkachuk's in front. Yemnoff takes a look. Gets it back to McIver. He lets it go. Rebound. Yemnoff picks it up. 2 players in front, Tkachuk and Stapleton. Tkachuk bothering everyone. Here's the shot. Hirsch, the save. Rebound is cleared away.
Keith Tkachuk doing a great job in front of Corey Hirsch on the screen. Hirsch, that first save, didn't see it at all, but it his pad stayed out.
McIver, Numanen, Yemnoff gains the line. Drop back to Stapleton. Stapleton check. Now gets it to Courtnall. Numanen falls. Here's Courtnall, the breakaway. In he goes. He scores! Ross Courtnall, short-handed.
The back pass by Mike Stapleton is picked off by Jim Dowd. Courtnall goes outside then inside, and Teppo Numanen stumbles. The feet shot freezes Nikolai Haberbulin, and then Courtnall goes to the backhand and slides it through. Courtnall goes in, head up all the way, fake, and then through the legs of Nikolai Haberbulin. Not much chance. A good move by Russ Courtnall.
So it's 4-2. The Jets lead the Canucks. Jets still with a man advantage, but the Canucks with a puck. Now it's taken by Korolev. 48 seconds left in the penalty. And play has been called.
And Dave Manson is going off for slashing on Jim Dowd. And a little frustration showing. The Jets give up that short-handed goal and then take a penalty to lose their power play.
You know, it's not often you see things like that happen to Teppo Numminen where he went down. But it happened in the first period, too, on a breakaway by McGillney.
Courtnall fakes outside, then goes inside, and you can see Teppo Numminen gets his feet crossed, stumbles, fake shot, and then the nice move by Courtnall. Courtnall's a streak scorer. That's 5 goals in 5 games, a goal in the 5 straight games for Russ Courtnall. And he's had problems scoring goals, but now it's a matter of confidence. When he gets in there, he looks like he knows it's going to go in.
In 46 seconds, the Canucks will gain the man advantage. That's the time left in the penalty running as Manson steps into the box. So Linden comes out with McGillney. Up front. Puck goes back into the Jets. On with it there is Numminen, chased by Linden. Anakin is back with Rawleen. Numminen gives it to Jamnov. Jamnov gets over the line. Here's Jamnov's shot and went wide. Linden and Numminen go after it. It's left there now. Jamnov lost it to Linden. Linden's pass into traffic. McGillney balances it, shoots, and the save by Happy Bullet. McGillney makes things happen in a hurry.
And again, it was Teppo Numminen back. Alexander McGillney, with his feet, kicks it up. And again, it's Teppo Numminen who's trapped in no man's land. He's deep, and Nikolai Habibulin bails the Jets out. Numminen barely gets turned around before McGillney shoots it. McGillney has one of the hardest wrist shots in the league. He's not afraid to use it, and there was a good scoring chance, and Nikolai Habibulin in perfect position to make that save.
19 seconds left in the Vancouver penalty to running. A minute 33 left in Manson's penalty. Face off to the right. Habibulin. 4-2, the Jets lead. 6:24 gone in the second period. Third meeting of the season. These clubs will meet 4 times, and each has won once. Linden and Kachuk. Puck goes all the way back to center ice. Back quickly to get it is Hedican. Hedican chased by Fraser. Now he starts away. Gives it to Linden. Linden gains the Jet line. His shot wide. McGillney goes after it. McGillney lost it to Kachuk. Roning's out of the penalty box. The Canucks have the man advantage. McIver to Kachuk. Kachuk waits. Lets it go. And it goes all the way back to center. Daryl Shannon content to kill some time. Gives to McIver. McIver waiting. And it dumps in the distance. 53 seconds left in the penalty to Manson. Anakin puts it out. Rawleen had to go off Stapleton, and it's a souvenir. Jets' next home game is coming up on Friday as the Pittsburgh Penguins.
And with Mario, you never know whether he's going to play or not. It's a matter of his schedule and how he feels on any given night. And then the Jets move on to play in St. Louis on Sunday, but then they have a busy week. 21st, they play the Canucks again back at home. Then they have Chicago on the 23rd, LA on the 26th, and then the Toronto Maple Leafs on the 28th.
Here's Babbage, gives it to Ronning. Ronning trying to get the power play in gear, puts it over to Courtnall. Courtnall back for Ronning, gains the line. Back now, Baranek into Ronning. Ronning in front. O'Coin couldn't get a good shot away. And it's taken by the Jets. Drake. Drake gets it over. Here's Stapleton. Shot goes wide. Now Baranek to O'Coin. O'Coin avoids a hit from Stapleton, and Drake knocks it away. Back to get it is Ronning. Manson set to step out. Here's Courtnall. Gets it to O'Coin. Manson. His penalty is over. Baranek in the corner. Both pumps full strength. Baranek watched there by Eastwood. Puts it in behind the net to Ronning. Ronning back to Baranek. McIver sticks with Baranek. Courtnall grabs the puck. Runs into Eastwood, who frees it from McIver, who knocked it out to center ice. Going after it there is Fraser. Fraser's pass stopped by Ronning. Here's O'Coin. Knocked it back to center ice. And defenseman Daryl Shannon dumps it in. Babbage for Courtnall. Grabbed by Shannon. Puts it over the line. Loose ball. Here's McKenzie's shot. That goes over top. Back with it now. Here's Tverdovsky moving right in front. Can't get anything on the shot. Ronning goes after it. And the Canucks dump it all the way down. Going back to get it is Manson. Manson's pass to McKenzie. 4-2, the Jets lead. 9 minutes gone in the second. McKenzie kicks it to Shamnoff. He's checked. It goes down to Walker. Dumped into the Jet zone. Sandlak and Shamnoff in after it. It goes to Manson. Now to Sandlak. And Tverdovsky with it momentarily. Then he's checked. It's taken in behind. Walker looks in front. McKenzie without a stick. Here's Lume's shot. Here's the goal post. It's at the side of the goal. And Shamnoff to Drake. Canucks very nearly got back to within one. That Lume shot off the netminder and onto the post. Here's Lume. Gets it ahead to center ice. Merzen. For Walker dumped in. Back to get it, Finley. Finley puts it out to center ice. Shane Doan with it for Winnipeg. Long shot. Hurst kicks it away. Doan gets it again. Doan crowded by Lume. Puck goes to McGillney. Check by Kilger. Doan lost it to Lume. Who dumps it down into the Jet zone. Finley with OJ under him, and that's called for icing. You tune to the Jets on CKND, Winnipeg TV.
Your Goldeyes are back for another summer of exciting professional baseball action. Be in the stands as the Fish battle their Northern League opponents, including new teams, the Fargo Redhawks and Madison Black Wolf. Don't miss 1 minute of entertainment Goldeye style with Goldie, special entertainment acts, and free giveaways. 44-game season tickets as low as $132. 7-game mini packs of our best games for just $21. This summer, catch Fish Fever.
Looking for a new car in '96? It's time to test drive the new Chrysler. Now get great deals on the Chrysler Intrepid, Neon X with the most horsepower in its class, Dodge Stratus, and the latest star in our award-winning lineup, the new Plymouth Breeze. Your choice of the most award-winning sedans in our history. Isn't it time to test drive the new Chrysler? See your local Chrysler dealer now.
Jurke Lume shaking his head on the bench. He had one off Habibulin and then off the post. Alex Stoyanov was in front of Habibulin, so he couldn't line up properly. He doesn't have the angle on it. At the last minute, he sees it, gets the left arm up, and gets enough of it to keep it out.
Puck in behind the Vancouver net. Kilger puts it in front. It's batted out of the air. McGillney got there, but play has been whistled down. It was knocked down by a high stick. Next week, we'll have 2 games for you on CKND, both from the Winnipeg Arena. On Wednesday night, these same clubs will go at it, the Vancouver Canucks and Winnipeg Jets. And then on Friday, it'll be Jeremy Roenick and company, the Chicago Blackhawks, against the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, look at our truck, our crack crew, working on this one here tonight. You might see Kirk McLean on Wednesday night. He's been practicing with the Canucks for about a week, and he looks like he's about ready. He's listed as day-to-day, and he just might make his return Wednesday night.
Puck is in the Vancouver zone. Now McGillney puts it out to center ice. With it there, Newman. Pass ahead for Tkachuk. Tkachuk gains the line. Here's Tkachuk. Penalty coming to the Canucks. It's fired wide. After it is Doan. And now the whistle sounds. It's going to be a charging penalty.
Jeff Finley was hurt. Gino Ojic again when he hit Finley. Jumped up at him, and he gets the charging penalty this time. He hit Darren Turcotte in the first period. Here's the hit from behind. This time he didn't jump up. But it's called charging, and that could have been a hitting from behind penalty. Finley had passed it much earlier, and Ojic hit him in the numbers. And the Jets are complaining about it. Keith Tkachuk is saying, well, why isn't that a hit from behind?
Well, you know, the last time these clubs played in Winnipeg, Ojik went coast to coast to plant an elbow in the ear of Dallas Drake. And there was a lot of question as to why that wasn't a more severe penalty.
Finley makes the play. Gino stops. He's gliding, but look at that. That's a direct hit from behind, right in the numbers. And it's a charging penalty call from Don Koharski, and I think Gino's fortunate that Koharski didn't give him the hitting from behind penalty on that one. Had Finley been a little closer to the boards, that would have been even more dangerous.
So the Jets gain the man advantage. They lead 4-2. On comes Tkachuk with Mike Stapleton, Alexei Shamnov, Norm McIver, and Temple Numanen. Linden against Tkachuk. Linden pulls it back to Merzen. Stapleton, or McIver it is, trying to get it to Stapleton. Now Lume flips it high, in all the way down the ice. Jelen up front with Linden. Merzen and Lume back, the penalty-killing brigade for the Vancouver Canucks. Numanen trying it for Shamnov. Shamnov's pass. Here's Tkachuk on the move. Takes it deep. Tkachuk in behind. Merzen waiting for him there. Lume sends the puck as far as the line. Kept in by McIver. Trying it for Tkachuk. And it was cleared away. Habavulin tried it for Newman and had his stick lifted by Shelanov. With it there, McIver. To Shamnov. Alexei Shamnov gains the line. Trying it for Stapleton off his skate. Again flipped out. Here's Courtnall after a loose puck again. Had to reach back for it. And that prevented another clear-cut, short-handed breakaway for Courtnall. Here's Oleg Tverdovsky for Winnipeg. Pass on the right side. Korolev back to Tverdovsky. Into Korolev for Tkachuk. Behind the net, Stapleton. Stapleton is checked. And the Canucks down. Finds some room. Gives to Courtnall. Courtnall trying to go through Tverdovsky. And it was knocked off his stick. Manson for Tkachuk. Tkachuk turns. Jets unable to get anything organized on this power play. Now an opportunity as Korolev moves in, gets it back. Manson shot. Deflected wide by Doan. Here's Korolev. For Tverdovsky. Hinted shot by Tkachuk. Now Tkachuk tried it back. Merzen picked it off and cleared it away. And it runs out the penalty to Gino Ojik. Manson in front of his goal. He takes a pass from Oleg Tverdovsky. Now Fraser puts it in deep. Doan goes after it. O'Coin takes him out of the play. McGillney comes up with it. Gives to Ronning. Ronning swings by Fraser. Gets it ahead to McGillney. McGillney rolling in the big goal. Ojik.
Adrian O'Coin does his job. The Jets are changing. Ronning to McGillney, and Ojik is so far ahead of this play. McGillney, perfect pass to Gino Ojik, and he just taps it by Nikolai Hababulin. No chance for Hababulin. Norm McIver is looking over like that must have been offside. Gino Ojik came off the bench, and he jumped into the play, and there he was, all alone.
His third goal of the year. It's 4-3 now. The Jets lead the Canucks. It was 3-1 coming into the period when Tkachuk made it 4-1. And now goals by Courtnall and Ojik have tightened it up. 6.5 left in the second period. The Jets dump at the distance, and that'll be icing when Babbage gets back. Four 4-3, the Jets lead.
Why wait for spring when the Fair Furniture is heating up the savings right now during the Fair's Midwinter Meltdown Sale? Get the hottest deals in town on a huge selection of furniture for every room in your home. And there's no down payment and no interest for 2 full years OAC on selected items. That's right, no down payment and no interest for 2 full years. The Fair is your value hotspot right now during the Midwinter Meltdown Sale, only at the Fair Furniture.
Coca-Cola's Big Bottle Bingo is your chance to win gold prizes valued up to $100,000 or a Coca-Cola trip to the Olympic Games.
To the 1996 Olympic Games here in Atlanta, Georgia, for the 26th Olympic. It's truly magnificent. With athletes from all over the world competing here together, this is a tremendous sight indeed.
Coca-Cola's Big Bottle Bingo is your chance to win. Yes! Let the game begin.
Kurt, I don't know whether it's a new building or not, but this one's a lot noisier than the Pacific Coliseum. Even though the Canucks have not played well at home, the fans here have been a lot noisier. And you think back to the old Coliseum days, if they'd been playing like they were earlier in this game, you'd been able to hear the players talking even way up here.
Good point. It'll be interesting to see what it's like when the Canucks do begin to have a little more success in this building. Only the Ottawa Senators have got a worse home record. Here's Korolev. Gets the pass to center ice to Drake. Drake trying to go by Hennigan. Stops. Puts it in now for Korolev. Korolev's shot. That's knocked away. And Kortdahl picks it up. 4-3. The Jets lead the Canucks in the second period. Hennigan fires it into Jet territory. Jelena goes after it. Newman takes it from him. Gives it to Korolev. Can't get it by Rolene. Dumped in deep. Jelena. Taken off by Newman, and Linden follows up. Puts it. Kortdahl shot. Saved by Hababulin. Here's Kortdahl. Jelena. Jamnov leans on him. It goes back to Linden. Linden puts it back. These clubs are at equal strength, but it looks as though the Canucks have a man advantage. Jets unable to get anything outside the zone. Good pressure by Vancouver. Now Dallas Drake will lug it out. Takes it to center, gives it to Jamnov. And it's offside.
Russ Courtnall's had a strong game. He got his team going with that short-handed goal earlier in this period. He's had a ton of scoring chances. Here's another one. And a great save by Nikolai Hababulin. Courtnall unattended in front, snap shot, and out goes the stick. And the right leg again of Nikolai Hababulin. Nice pass from Trevor Linden. Courtnall snaps it away, and Hababulin anticipated well, got out, got the stick on that one, and steered it to the corner.
Now Merson fires it into the Jet zone. With it, Manson behind the goal. Around for Stapleton. Stapleton can't get it out. Here's Ronning. Shot! And Hababulin picks that one off. You know, there haven't been that many shots in his game. 17-60, and the Jets have outshot. Well, that'll be the 17th there, but that's not an indication because Hababulin has had to make a lot of outstanding saves.
And the Canucks have really come on here in the second period, but they have not played well at GM plays. Kurt, you talked about the Ottawa Senators with the only team worse home record. The San Jose Sharks have a worse home percentage than the Vancouver Canucks, but have one more win, and the Dallas Stars haven't won in a month at home, and they only have 9 wins. Dallas has gone 10 games in a row at home without a win. Hard to believe.
Here's Merson at the point. Shot blocked. Fraser kicks it to center, and McGillney dumped it out to center. Ronning with it there. Now Ojek works to the line, gives it to Ronning. Ronning circles, trying to dump it in. Manson freed it for Teradovsky. His pass to Darren Shannon. Gets it ahead now to Fraser. He's got Stapleton going to the goal. Fraser puts it there, and it's kicked away by Hirsch. McGillney with it for Vancouver. Gains the line. Here's McGillney's shot. And Hababulin comes up with a save. Vancouver Canucks, plenty of pressure. They trail by 1.
It's out there. You're on your way. Esso Supreme 92 Octane. For a cleaner engine while you drive. A smooth feeling of power. Esso Supreme 92. Unleash the performance. You're on your way. With Esso.
Your best shot at winning is always with Mr. Canada's Tow
Touring Network during the Great Western Gold Rush. Take any scheduled trip between February 14th and May 29th, and you could be eligible to win gold, coins, and prize giveaways just by riding with the winners to Casino Regina. Just $79 to $119 per person. There's $2 million in prizes up for grabs, including the grand prize of 10 ounces of pure gold. Call today for complete details and to book your seat. The Great Western Gold Rush from Mr. Canada's Touring Network. You're the loose.
They had a couple of guys up dancing, too. I don't think they want to take a picture of you and I up there in the booth during the Macarena.
Well, they have a lot of fun here with a big clock in the middle, of course. People can entertain themselves, but watching what goes on between the plays just adds an extra dimension. Here's Baranek. Knocked down. It's picked up by Kilger. He put it out to center ice. Here's Tkachuk on the fly. Tkachuk moving in front. Lets it go. Loose puck at the side of the goal. Now Coyne knocks it away. That goes all the way down the ice. Baranek after it quickly. Cuts at the net. Fires it wide. Tkachuk into the middle now to Doan. Doan against Babbage. Loose puck. Tkachuk shot wide. It's opening up as Babbage knocked it away. Picked up by Baranek. Baranek flips it high. Tverdovsky back into his line and is run into by Sandlak. Jamnov and Baranek along the boards and players whistle down.
And there's Joseph Baranek pushing and shoving in a rare shift. We haven't seen Darren Turcotte in a while, and we can't get any reports. We're well up away from the Jet dressing room, and Darren Turcotte has been playing very well tonight. Keith Tkachuk had another shot go right through Corey Hirsch. He gets a lot of it. Tkachuk comes in, cuts to the middle, and then lets it go. Hirsch is moving and can't get the legs together tightly, but he gets enough of it. It goes through him, and then Shane Doan just can't pull it out far enough to slide it in. Tkachuk on Adrian Aucoin goes by him. The puck goes through, but Hirsch had enough of it to keep it out.
Jamnov and Linden face off in the neutral zone. It goes back to Tverdovsky to Manson. Manson gains the line, works down deep with it now, looks back in front, puts it behind the net. Drake trying it for Korolev. Now Drake drags it on in front. There's going to be a penalty to the Canucks.
Martin Jelena for holding on Dallas Drake, and this is a good penalty for Jelena to take. Dallas Drake had that puck. He was pulling it out in front. He had a good scoring chance, and Jelena hauled him down. But here's where the Jets have let themselves down tonight. They played a very good game, but their special teams have not been very good. Their power play is 0 for 4, plus they've given up a short-handed goal, and that last power play, Russ Courtnall had more scoring chances than the Winnipeg Jet power play.
In the upcoming intermission, we'll hear from Gary Wilson in conversation with Joe Pascucci. We'll have a CKND News update with Barry Burns. Highlights of the game between the Calgary Flames and the Washington Capitals. A total look at the MTS scoreboard and Dirt Devil trivia. All coming up in the second intermission. It's 3 minutes, 18 seconds away. The Jets lead at 4-3. Have the man advantage. Jelena in the penalty box. Tkachuk, Stapleton, Jamnov, Newman, and McIver. The power play goes back to McIver. To Stapleton. Lost it to Lume, who alley-ooped it out. Courtnall and Linden up front in a penalty-killing role. Lume back with Merson. Keep your eye on Courtnall. He's been dangerous. Does have one short-handed goal this period and nearly another. Here's Newman. Jumps it in. Stapleton. Back to the point. McIver. Stapleton. Stapleton spins. McIver lets it go. It hit the post. A lazy deflection went off. Jamnov and rolled slowly off the post. Hit Newman and shot. And they whistled it dead. Hirsch really didn't have control.
And Keith Tkachuk is complaining that Dana Merson tackled him. That shot from Jamnov's deflection just trickled. It was rolling towards the net. Norm McIver just snaps it. A little wrist shot. It hits Jamnov, trickled towards the net, but stayed on the outside of the post. Jamnov goes. It's off his foot. And a bad break for the Jets. That's their best scoring chance on a power play tonight.
A minute 12 left in the penalty to Zelena. Face-off will be to the right of Corey Hirsch. One thing the Canucks have in their netminders, both can handle the puck so well. Kirk McLean and Corey Hirsch.
We saw Mike Fountain out practicing today, the backup for Corey Hirsch with McLean out, and he's a pretty good puck handler.
Here's Lume. Sends it outside the zone. Manson is chased by Dowd. Dowd comes up with it. Now he'll contend with Tverdovsky. Dowd fights him off. Now flips it behind the net. And Tverdovsky will try to get something done on his power play. Sends it out to center ice, then goes to Stapleton. Stapleton with Tkachuk, who takes the wrong pass. Here's Tkachuk. Looks back. Tverdovsky lets it go. A save by Hirsch. Here's McGillney. Can't get it out. Manson, well, actually, yeah, we've got a great view of that one. It was just out.
Alexei Jamnov was wide open, and Manson knocked that puck down, but he couldn't control it. It just trickled over the blue line.
Drake and Tkachuk. Lyndon Courtnall and Ojek for Vancouver. Here's Manson against Baranek. Now McGillney. It goes to Doan. Doan gains the line. Here's Shane Doan in front. Shot. And was blocked by Babich. And McGillney starts back with Baranek. Trailing is O'Coin. McGillney trying it for Baranek. Broken up by Tverdovsky. Now Baranek flips it in behind the net. In with it is Manson to Korolev. Center ice. Korolev gains the line. Long shot wide. Goes after the puck again. The penalty is over. Shannon is out of the penalty box and headed toward the puck. Shannon gets there first. Daryl Shannon gives to Newman. Sends it to center off O'Coin. Picked up by Korolev. Dropped off. Fraser takes it deep. Ronnie rides him out. Now O'Coin. Stopped. Newman trying to dump it in. Drake. McGillney lost it. Drake gets it over. Daryl Shannon shot wide. Drake has it again. And there's going to be a penalty. Holding against Fraser.
Ian Fraser holding the stick right in front of Don Koharski, and it was Cliff Roning's stick. And this is a key penalty against the Winnipeg Jets. The puck comes off the boards. Fraser reaches out. There you can see the left hand. And it was on Adrian Aucoin's stick. There's Fraser. He's got it with the left hand. He's got the grasp on it. And unfortunately for him, it was right in front of Don Koharski.
So the Canucks have an opportunity with 46 seconds left in this period to even it up going to the intermission as they send out the power play. They scored on their first power play opportunity. It took only 8 seconds in the first period. Goal by Linden. He's up there now with Courtnall, Zelena, Rolleen, and Lomé. The Jets have Stapleton with Drake, Newman, and Manson. Stapleton wins the draw. Manson fires it in. Lomé, 38 seconds in the period. Chased by Stapleton. Now sends it ahead to Zelena. Zelena works towards center ice, slips into the jet line, knocked down by Newman. Newman trying to get it out. It did go out. Now with it is Lomé. Back at his line, 21 seconds in a period. Drake trying to flip it away. Puck in the neutral zone. Rolleen to Courtnall. Courtnall puts it out in front. Linden shot! And the save by Habibulin, who seemed to know where that was going before it was sent. Here's Lomé. To Courtnall. He lets it go. Very easy save for Nikolai Habibulin. And the period comes to a close.
Don Kowarski let the last 2 seconds run down. Nikolai Habibulin, like he knew where it was going because he anticipated so well. He gets in position and then gets that hand down to make the save. And the last one, nice pass by Jyrki Lume, right tape to tape. Russ Courtnall lets the shot go, and that was an easy one, picking cherries for Nicky on that last shot.
So the score after 2 periods, the Winnipeg Jets 4 and the Vancouver Canucks 3.
In the old days, plumbing was pretty easy to understand. But now, at Home Hardware, we have over 900 neighborhood stores with thousands of plumbing parts. We can help you solve just about any plumbing problem, from the simplest to the biggest. And if things get out of hand, we can help you there too.
Great price, friendly advice at Home Hardware.
Did you remember to turn off the tap?
Presenting a new class of automobile. Made here. Driven here. Priced for here. The Canadian-made Civic sedan. Here.
Al Pacino is Mayor John Pappas.
New York City. This is the place.
He had the dream. He had the power. Until a shooting changed everything.
5 people are dead, and they're connected, and that's all I know. And that's all I want to know. This is a crisis that can sink us. I get the funny feeling this one's not over yet.
Al Pacino, John Cusack, and Bridget Fonda. City Hall. At theaters Friday.
Play Safeway Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win an IBM Aptiva multimedia computer, a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven, Dirt Devil's MVP and Dust Devil from Royal Appliance, or $300 in MasterCard Travelers checks from the Bank of Montreal. You could also win a trip or 2 to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway's participating products, Kraft Singles, and Old Dutch Twin Pack potato chips. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
Well, at one point in that second period, the Jets looked to be cruising on their way to victory, but then all of a sudden, the Canucks got themselves back into it on special teams. And Kerry Wilson, we have a hockey game once again.
Well, it's been an exciting game. A lot of opportunities going both ways, and I think a lot of that's got to be due to some sloppy hockey on both accounts. A lot of stick checking, not a lot of body checking, and it's been a pretty wide-open game.
Special teams hurt the Jets in that period. They were on the power play when Mike Stapleton makes a bad pass, and that leads to the goal by Russ Courtnall.
Well, it does. He coughs the puck up, and Vancouver takes the opportunity here, moves the puck up very quickly, and I mean, it ends up resulting in a goal where unfortunately Teppo Numminen gets caught. Not caught, but I don't know. I think security's still looking for the sniper that knocked him down at center ice.
We'll show you that goal in a moment. We'll show you a couple of defensive plays first by Oleg Tverdovsky. We know he's got the offensive skills, but he also has some defensive skills.
Well, he's been doing a very good job. A very agile defenseman with good speed. Here you see Russ Courtnall going up the ice. He's one of the faster players in the league. Tverdovsky has no problem there catching up to him, and that's one thing you're going to see a lot of Oleg. He's got great speed. Here again, we take a look a little bit at his agility. He stays with Courtnall again here, doesn't get knocked out of position, and plays the man very well.
All right, remember that goal we talked about, the Russ Courtnall goal? And let's show it to you now. That was the one that got the Canucks back into the game.
Well, we talked about Stapleton coughing up the puck, and here Courtnall, with his speed, takes off and puts a little move on Teppo Numminen, and he ends up tripping down, comes down, makes a very nice move on Habibulin, and ends up scoring the goal.
Now, Gino Odjick, he may not be liked by the fans, certainly outside of Vancouver, but he's been a force in this game. He's been hitting, he's been taking some bad penalties. He's put Darren Turcotte out of the game, but he scores the goal that we also may think could have been offside.
Well, it could have been. We're having a tough time figuring out where he comes from on this screen. Comes off the bench. Maybe he's offside, but anyway, McGillney makes a beautiful pass. Ojek drives to the net. A very well executed 3-on-2. You know, the coaches are always saying you got to have somebody driving to the net. That makes the defenseman, makes it difficult. They got to make a decision. They do a good job there. McGillney, an excellent execution, puts it across, and all Ojek's got to do is get a stick on it and get it on net.
He showed some touch. We didn't think he had it, unless with his fist, but he showed some touch with the stick that time. All right, the Jets were running around after that for a while, but things have settled down. They've started to get back some of the play. I think that they really needed this intermission to get their focus back.
Well, I think so. They've got to, I'm sure Simpson's in the dressing room telling these guys they got to start playing a little bit tighter to the vest, playing a little bit more physical hockey, put the fishing poles away, get the hockey sticks out, and start using their body. Right now, it's been a little bit too much run around, sloppy. If they can stick to a solid defensive game, they'll have a much better opportunity. They don't want to open things up against this team.
And they certainly have a hot goaltender. Nikolai Habibulin has made at least 3 saves that I can think about off the top of my head off McGillney.
He's been making the key saves tonight, and that's what's been expected of him. Lately, he's been questionable, but tonight he's been outstanding. He's made the big saves, and that's what the team's counting on. Now they've kept it within 1 goal, and now it's up to the players in front of them to tighten up defensively, help them out.
All right, 20 more minutes to come from GM Place in Vancouver. Thank you very much, Kerry Wilson. We'll talk to you after the game. The Jets leading the Vancouver Canucks by a score of 4-3. Coming up next, the CKND Newsline update and Dirt Devil trivia.
With the glimmering brilliance and the astonishing clarity of fine crystal, Piat Stemware has been selected by our international buyers for its extraordinary design, sparkling cuts, and exceptional value. Exclusively made by one of the finest glassmakers in France, a set of 10 could easily cost $59.50. But you can acquire this beautiful stemware at Domo. Each goblet is only 99 cents or less.
It's a Simpsons salute to romance.
Put your hand on my hip.
Okay. And the passion is sizzling.
Okay.
All this week, it's a Simpsons Love Fest.
On Winnipeg TV, CKND.
If you were to ask what's new on the horizon for wheat growers, we'd have one word. A word that delivers better and more consistent control of wild oats and wild millet. A word that offers you the widest range of tank mixes. A word that gives you a special wild oat rate to save you money. That word is Horizon.
Swim, surf, fish, sail, golf, and snorkel. Watch CKND Newsline every day. You could win a week-long getaway to the tropical sports paradise, Puerto Rico. CKND Newsline will be there. On second thought, you'll be there.
Just imagine.
You're not going to believe this. It's $10 million! Yes! The 649 jackpot is a shocking $10 million!
I don't see your ticket.
Good evening, I'm John Loveland, sitting in for Barry Burns with a look at some of the stories making news tonight. A 67-year-old Garden City woman still lies in critical condition after a drive-by purse snatching and beating last night. An elderly couple in Ashering was roughed up, tied up, and robbed in a violent home invasion north of Winnipeg. St. Boniface Hospital cuts 130 jobs. Administrators say provincial funding cuts are to blame. Pothole season seems to have arrived early this year with all the wild temperature swings we've had recently. It's Random Act of Kindness Week. We found lots of Winnipeggers who were willing to go out of their way for a stranger. Police respond to allegations they roughed up a man with malice over the weekend. And the commander of the Airborne Regiment is found not guilty for a second time in charges stemming from the Somalia affair. Academy Award nominations were announced today. Babe About a Talking Pig was the surprise winner.
It's one thing to claim that there's nothing more reliable than MTS Advantage 800 service. That over 99.99% of all calls on our long-distance network get delivered to their destinations. But what does that really mean to you and your business? Well, it means that the only way you're likely to miss a call is if you don't answer it. Advantage 800. Everything in business should be this reliable.
Dirt Devil presents Red Hot Trivia. Brought to you by Dirt Devil, makers of the MVP vacuum. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil. When was the last time a team had 4 players score 100 points in a season? We'll have the answer right after this.
With the power of an upright in the palm of your hand with a Dirt Devil hand vac. It's lightweight, powerful, and has a revolving brush to deep clean any surface. Put it to work for you, and you'll see why nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
We're proud to announce that this model not only passed that famous ball bearing test, it surpassed it. It's the Dirt Devil MVP with maximum vacuum power. Just think what it can do in your home.
When was the last time a team had 4 players score 100 points in a season? Need a hint? Only 3 teams have accomplished the feat. They were the 1970-71 Bruins, the 80s Oilers, and the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1992-93. The Penguins were led by one of the greatest players in the game today. Mario the Magnificent had 69 goals and 160 points that season in only 60 games. The Blues left winger in 92-93 was Kevin Stevens, and his 111 points was his second highest career point total. Rick Tocchet was in his second year with the Penguins, and his 109 points was a new personal high.
Well, obviously, Mario Lemieux was the key. Anytime he would be on the ice, everybody went to him, and, guys like myself and Kevin would get tapped, and then you'd come back with Yager and Francis. Right now, 2 of the best players in the league. It was one of the best teams I've ever played for.
The other Penguin to reach 100 points in 92-93 was smooth center Ron Francis, who hit the century plateau right on with 24 goals and 76 assists. The Pittsburgh Penguins in 92-93, the last team to have 4 100-point scorers. Another Red Hot Trivia. Brought to you by Dirt Devil, makers of the MVP vacuum. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
Promotional consideration provided by Optex Binoculars. Superior quality, deluxe features, excellent value, all backed by an industry-leading no-fault warranty. See your retailer today.
A lot of good mutual funds out there, but which ones are right for you?
There are many ways to invest some or all of your RSP outside of Canada, especially with the current status in Quebec. Studies prove that global investing in your RSP reduces risk and increases your potential for return. And there's lots of exciting things happening all over the world. Many mutual funds specialize in offshore investing. We know which ones have stood the test of time.
Summit Securities. Come see the difference advice makes.
We took the most comfortable full-size pickup on the road and made it more comfortable. We took the most thoughtful interior on the market and made it more thoughtful. We took the biggest cab in the industry and made it bigger. The new Dodge Ram Club Cab. First we changed the rules, then we stretched them. From Dodge, Canada's truck stop.
Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by Reimer Express, Park Pontiac Buick GMC, and by Athletes Wear.
So going into the third period, it's 4-3. The Jets lead the Canucks. A couple of newcomers, of course, with the Jets, Oleg Tverdovsky and Chad Kilger. And we asked Terry Simpson about their contributions in the first two games.
Well, I think Kilger is he's a young player, of course, with another year after this of junior left. He's got good size and he's got real good ability for a big guy. He moves around the ice real well, and we've got him playing with Dolan and Kachuk, and we're going to continue with that and try and I think his asset can be a real strong forechecking. Take the puck to the net, and he's got two big wingers playing with him. He's got to use those big wingers. He's played well, and I think he can get better for us. Tverdovsky is maybe a little bit further ahead than Chad in terms of development. He's got real good skills, good puck skills. He's quick in his own end. He can get to pucks, and he gets them moving. He's a good passer, and it's just a matter of him, fitting his game in, and hopefully he can give us a little bit of added punch from the blue line.
So the third period is underway. Here's Shelanov. Moves it in for Raleigh. He's got caught by a high stick as Drake starts away for Winnipeg. Here's Drake trying to beat Lume. Drake had it knocked away, and Linden follows up. Canucks with a man advantage. 43 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Linden at center. His pass goes all the way down the ice. Habebolin stops it. Now it's Manson with it. Manson lost it. It goes to McGillivray in front. Linden put it over top. Manson clears it all the way down the ice. Hirsch comes out, gives to Lume. Lume at center, right side pass. Ojik out on the power play. Dumps it in deep. McIver gets into the blue line, not out. After it is Ojik. Into the corner running. Ojik goes after it, checked by Korolev. Here's McGillivray. McGillivray looks in front, feeds it in front. The penalty's over. Fraser's out of the box. They'll try to get the puck to him. Jamnov has it. Jamnov takes it over, gives it to Fraser in front. Shot hurts the save. Fraser blasted. Here's Ojik. Lead pass knocked down by McIver as they try to hit McGillivray for a breakaway. Lume. Here's Ojik. Gains the jet line. Stopped by Tverdovsky. It goes now to Shannon to Stapleton. Stapleton gets over. Gives it to Tverdovsky moving in. And rather than shoot, he tried to pass, and the Canucks start back. Sandlak gives to Babbage. Babbage gets up to the jet line. Looks back. Feeds the pass. Sandlak for Vancouver. Dumped it behind. Here's Oleg Tverdovsky. Gives it to Stapleton. A hit down to center. Dumped by Fraser. Back with it, Hennigan. It goes to Baranek. Dumped all the way down, Manson back. Behind his goal, 2:20 gone, third period. Jets 4, Canucks 3. Both teams at full strength. Hennigan to Stoyanov. Baranek. Dumped in. After it, Stoyanov. Dave Courtnall. Taken by Manson. Now Stoyanov fights off McIver. Here's Stoyanov looking. Is checked by Korolev. He starts out with Shamnov. Pass broken up by Raleigh. Courtnall Taken up by Korolev. Now Drake with it for Winnipeg. Looks rink wide for Korolev. Dumped in deep. And Hennigan back to get it for the Canucks. Gives to Shellenov. Dumped in back to get it is Daryl Shannon. Reverses it for Doan. Doan dumped it out over center. And with it there, Lume. Pass to Linden. To Shellenov. Quick on in front. Shellenov shot. Hammerbull in the save. It's in behind the goal. Sent back with it, Shellenov. Shellenov trying to get away from Daryl Shannon. Spins. Shellenov persistent. Goes to the corner with it. Still working. And gets it to Merzen. In for Courtnall. Knocked away Merzen. Hit the back of the net. Gets it again. Gives to Lume. Over now Linden. Lume. Lume goes through a couple of jets. Goes outside. Lume still with it. Now he's checked by McIver. Linden follows up. Here's Linden right in front. It goes back. Merzen shot. Hammerbull rebound. Merzen puts it over top. Daryl Shannon can't clear. Merzen gets it back. Shot. Saved by Hammerbull. Hits in behind. Going forward is Doan. And he manages to ice the puck. First whistle of the period. 4.5 minutes in. 4-3 the score. This is your Molson Hockey Telecast.
What are you doing there?
In today's world of beers, Molson Special dries in a world all its own.
More and more people are switching to Ford Mercury like Fran King, Windstar owner. What color is this?
This is called Chameleon Blue.
Is this your first minivan?
No, it isn't. We've owned a Chrysler.
Why did you make the switch to the Ford Mercury product?
The comfort, the seats. I think the thing that surprised me the most is how smooth a ride it is. It was like driving a luxury car.
Get 96 Windstar for just $25,494 or $399 a month. Only at your complete minivan center, your Manitoba Ford and Mercury dealers.
You get good value in a Windstar?
Yeah, you get a lot for what you pay for.
Take a look at the summary of the second period. The Jets took a 4-1 lead on Keith Tkachuk's 34th from Korolev and Shamnov. Then Ross Courtnall, short-handed breakaway, got his 14th from Dowd. And then the Canucks closed within one. Gino Ojic, his third from McGillney and running at 13-19. The shots were 12 aside. Here's Babbitt's shot. Handled by Hammerbull. Canucks with some good pressure, John.
Shots on goal, 5-0 here in this third period, and a lot of it has to do with puck control and faceoffs. That time, Cliff Ronning beat Ian Fraser clean back to the point, and there was another point shot. They did have a power play to start this period, but the Jets will take more penalties if they can't get the puck out of their own zone.
McGillney to Babbitt, shot wide. Darren Shannon will slowly to center, dumps it from his own side of center. That will be icing again.
Let's try to win another face-off. They've lost 2 in a row that went back for point shots, and here's another face-off in their own zone. Rickley looks on. His team has won 1 game when they've trailed going into the third period, but that was Friday night in Edmonton. They were down 2-1 going into the third, and they ended up winning in overtime on a Russ Courtnall goal, and the Winnipeg Jets have been very good, 16-3-3 when they lead going into the third.
Baranek and Stapleton will face off to the left of Nikolai Hammerbull. After it now is Numanen. Numanen sees some room, sends it up the middle. Babbage to O'Coin, dumps it back in. Numanen has it again. Pass straight up, taken by Fraser. His pass behind Shannon. Now Baranek. Stopped by McIver. O'Coin puts it in. Stapleton puts it out to Fraser. Darren Shannon stumbles. Brett Hennigan. No coin it is. His check. Here's Shannon. And Baranek down deep in the Canuck corner. Puck goes to Stapleton. Tried it back. Baranek can't clear. Here's Stapleton. Centers. Fraser puts it behind the net. Darren Shannon trying to free himself of Baranek. Does get it to Stapleton. He centers. Puck knocked down. Sent out to center by Walker. McIver had it knocked off his stick. Here's Dowd looking for a trailer. None to be found. Dumps it in. Puck down in the corner. Walker. Lost it. It goes down to Daryl Shannon. Sends it off his brother all the way down. And again, it'll be icing Winnipeg.
This week at Canadian Tire, you can get a 28-point inspection, oil, lube, filter, and tire rotation, all for just $19.99. Offer ends soon, so hurry into Canadian Tire today.
Now, a week from tomorrow, the Vancouver Canucks will be in Winnipeg, and you can catch that action here on CKND, the first half of a doubleheader, because on Friday night, the Chicago Blackhawks will be in Winnipeg, and that, too, will be seen right here. Shamnov in Ronning. Ronning wins it cleanly. Hennigan shot over top. Korolev sends it out to center ice. McGillney fires it back in. Tverdovsky with it for Winnipeg. His pass went for naught. Kicked in McGillney. Now Shamnov. It goes to Manson. Tried the pass to Drake. Dumped in. Back to get it Raleigh. To Ronning. Ronning's caught up. Drake. Ronning will try it again. Korolev with an eye on him. 6.5 gone in the third. 4-3. The Jets lead, but it's been all Canucks in the third. Puck in the center ice area with it. McGillney gains the jet line, trying to work his way through. And the save by half a bullet. It seems McGillney is never out of it on those rushes.
1-on-2, 1-on-1, it doesn't matter. Dave Manson did a pretty good job on Alexander McGillney. Nice little pass. Gino Ojic runs into Alexander McGillney as he's going off. Outside, inside. That's on Tverdovsky. And then Manson comes across. Manson saw his partner was in trouble. Comes across. Tverdovsky's watching the puck. Fishy, fishy. And in comes Dave Manson to help his partner out. And Nikolai Habibul is able to grab it. They missed Darren Turcotte. Turcotte's out with a hand injury on these faceoffs. Turcotte's a guy that even when he loses, he doesn't lose it cleanly.
Kilger and Linden, the faceoff combatants this time around. Nearing the 7-minute mark of this third period. Tkachuk now replaces Kilger. Linden wins the faceoff. Merzen fires it wide. Kilger puts it off the glass. Lume waits for it. Puck goes back into the Vancouver zone. Don't sat on it a while, then dumped it in. Merzen and Tkachuk. Here's Tkachuk with it. Dumps it behind the net for Kilger. Kilger centers. Courtnall. Checked by Tkachuk. Puts it behind the net. Here's Doan. His pass dominant. Loose puck in front. Linden. Now Jelena manages to send it to center, and Newman pumps it back in. Lume with Doan after him to Merzen. Over for Jelena. Goes ahead now to Linden. Linden to the Jets line here. Jelena dropped it off. Courtnall is stripped on a puck by Darren Shannon. He gets it ahead. Here's Fraser on the move. Fraser cutting. Goes in behind. Stumbles over Hirsch. Courtnall taken out of the play by Darren Shannon. Linden digs it up. Gets into Jelena. And back for it goes Manson. Manson to Stapleton. Tried it for Fraser. Wrapped up by Baranek. Babbage gives it to Baranek. Against McIver. Baranek shot. Habibul kicks that away. It goes to Fraser. Ahead now to Stapleton. He dumps it in, and Babbage goes back. 8.5 gone, third period, 4-3. Jets lead. Puck dump from the Canucks side of center, and it's icing.
First time I'm playing Sports Select, right? 2 games, no problem. 1 more, I win. We're up 1 goal. Seconds left. And then, breakaway. He shoots! What a shot! And I'm thinking, oh no, don't blow it. I've come this far. Don't blow it now. And then...
Go ahead. Then what happened?
Well, he plucked it right out of the air. I won. My first crack at it.
Play Safeway Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win a set of quality appliances from T-Fel, a 20-piece set of Mikasa fine china in the Currents pattern, a Gold Star Start Touch 2 VCR, or a Texas Instruments personal organizer. You could also win a trip for 2 to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway's participating products, Campbell's Soup, and General Mills Bugles. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
And the Pittsburgh Penguins, one of the most entertaining teams in all of hockey. In a long time, will be at the Winnipeg Arena Friday night. Their first and only visit. And yes, unfortunately, their last ever visit. Be there if you can. Friday night, 7:30. Jamnov kicked out of the circle, so it's Drake against Ronning. Now it goes to Korlev. He centers. That one off something or somebody. Goes all the way back to the jet line. With it there, Daryl Shannon. To Jamnov. To Numanen. Tried for Jamnov. Kick to Korlev. Gets up to the line. Gives it to Drake. Drake looks for a trailer. Now it goes to Numanen. Pumped into the Vancouver zone and back to get it is Babbage. Nearing the midway mark of the third period. The Jets with a 4-3 lead. Babbage gives it to O.J. King. Shot and rebound. Jamnov there to put it off the glass. O'Coin run into by Drake. Jamnov takes the puck. Jamnov moves in. Shot blocked by Babbage. Korlev can't get his stick on it, and Ronning starts back. He gets it ahead to McGillney, one-on-one with Manson. McGillney fanned on a shot or faked it, and then Manson cleared it away.
He fanned on that shot because Dave Manson was very patient. He waited back, and McGillney had no play.
Now Ronning dumps it in. Back to get it, Tvernovsky. It's by Shelina, slides the pass to Doan. His pass intended for Kachuk, broken up. Now Hedeken. Tried it for Linden, the captain of the Canucks. Goes back into his zone, chased by Kilger. Now tried it to Jelena to Courtnall. Courtnall gets to the jet line. Puck goes forward. Glove puck. Here's the shot. Courtnall. Save Harlabula. Now with it Linden. Linden to Courtnall. He knocked away by Manson. And it's cleared into the jet bench. Canucks have had the chances to tie it up in a third, primarily Russ Courtnall.
And lots of jump for Russ Courtnall tonight. Nice move at the red line on Keith Kachuk, but then the Jets beat it to death in their own zone, and that's Kilger and Doan again. A little bit of panic. Shots on goal here in the third period, 8-0 in favor of the Vancouver Canucks. And again, Nikolai Havabulin with a great save. We were commenting, Kurt, after the first period, I would have said the best player on the ice was Alexei Jamnov. Second period, almost invisible. And then here again in the third, when they need some jump and they need some lift, Alex has not offered them that spark.
Just hasn't been consistent. Did have an outstanding first period. Here's Fraser. Gets it to the blue line. Stopped by Hedeken. Dumped into the jet zone. Now Numanen puts it to the corner. Baranek. Numanen back to McIver, to Fraser. Stopped at the line by Hedeken. McIver. Pass went by Darren Shannon. And it's dumped back in by the Canucks. With it is Numanen. And that's called for icing.
Now, we've seen a lot of players just fall on their own. Ian Fraser is the latest, but that ice here at GM Place, there has been some questions about it. It's not up to the rest of the building. It's one of the nicest buildings you ever want to see, one of the nicest new buildings, but the ice isn't very good. And there's an example. We've seen a lot of players falling down tonight, and this week there's a hockey game tonight, basketball game tomorrow night. Next night, Anaheim's here, another basketball game, and then Saturday night, Boston Bruins are here.
You know, they've been making ice for an awful lot of years, so you're saying if they play different sports and different nights, they can't have good ice in a new building?
Yeah, I know. This is, well, it doesn't matter whether they're playing alternating nights or not. The ice here has not been up to the standard of the NHL or this building.
Here's Jelena. Back in the zone. Now Kornelov goes in against him, throws it in front. And Linden starts away for the Canucks. Linden approached by Shamnov. Linden goes wide, takes it in behind. Jelena's parked in front. Linden back, Hennigan shot. Shamnov blocked it, gets it over now into the center ice area of the rink. Dumped it in. Her shot of the goal. Leaves it for Rolene. To Jelena. To Linden. Linden gets over, dropped out. He clipped out again. They score! Jelena.
Time when you're playing back in your own zone. Nice little move by Linden at the blue line. Courtnall spots Jelena, and Jelena just chips it by Nikolai Habibulin. The defense stood up on Russ Courtnall. Both defensemen stand up on Courtnall. It's Newman and Manson, and there's Jelena just tipping it by Nikolai Habibulin.
4-4. The Jets took a 4-1 lead and have done nothing since. The Canucks have tied it up and have all the momentum. Puck is center. It's dumped back into the Vancouver zone. And with it is Lume. Back to get it is Newman. Newman watched by Ronick. Sends it ahead on the right wing. Now Kilger trying to free it. Is checked by Ojek to McGillney. McGillney looks in front for Ojek. Pass knocked down by Kilger. Kilger then knocks down McGillney. Lume. Check. Puck goes all the way down into the Canucks zone. And back to get it is Merzen. Merzen run into Blanton by Kilger. And in fact, Merzen then ran into Doan. They both went down. Here's Ronning. His shot off the shoulder of Habibulin. Tverdotsky in trouble. It's taken by Ronning to McGillney. He puts it in front. And now Doan to center. Merzen waits for him there and takes a piece of him. Back forward is Lume. 4-4. 7:20 left, third period. Lume flips it high. Tverdotsky gloves it ahead. Dowd run into by Darren Shannon. Shannon comes up with a puck, throws it. Stapleton shot. Saved by Hirsch. And maybe the Jets' first shot of the period. Here's Darren Shannon. He dumps it in. Hirsch behind the goal. Leaves it there for Merzen. Now Dowd gets the pass to Baranek. Baranek up across the line. Shot and went wide. McIver gives to Stapleton. Stapleton with Darryl and Darren Shannon. Shannon in front. Darren Shannon tried to feed his brother. Moving to the net. The pass went just wide. It's dumped all the way down. Habibulin steers it to Fraser. From McIver. Sent into the Canucks zone. Linden with it there. Now Babbage. Babbage puts it across. It's picked up by Linden. Linden dumped it into the Jet zone. Habibulin into the corner. Linden waiting there. Drake trying to take it away from him. Puck goes instead to Jelena.
Russ Courtnall and Martin Jelena against the Zhamnov line again. Courtnall and Linden are both wide open. Now, how does that happen? Tverdotsky goes to the corner, but Courtnall and Linden both are there by themselves, and it's Courtnall who beats Nikolai Habibulin.
Jets have gone AWOL since they took that 4-1 lead. Here's Tverdovsky. Moves outside in on Babbage. Tverdovsky put it through the crease. Tkachuk was unable to convert. Back with it is Doan. Sends it to center. Now it's dumped in 5-4. The Canucks led the Jets with 5:37 left in the third period. O'Coin puts it in. Tkachuk brings it out, moves it to center. Tkachuk trying to go by O'Coin. Running takes the puck. Dumped it out to center. Manson. Long shot. And play has been whistled down. 5-4. The Vancouver Canucks lead the Winnipeg Jets.
First time I'm playing Sports Select, right? 2 games, no problem. 1 more, I win. We're up 1 goal. Seconds left. And then, breakaway. He shoots! What a shot! And I'm thinking, oh no, don't blow it. I've come this far. Don't blow it now. And then...
Go ahead. Then what happens?
Well, he plucked it right out of the air. I won. My first crack at it.
The all-new 96 Toyota 4Runner. Power, room, comfort. Legendary Toyota quality not only lets you go your own way, it makes sure you get there and back.
Now they're waving, they're dancing, they're singing, they're even fiddling.
They're having a lot of fun. The shots on goal are now 11-1 here in the third period, and that one shot was that long one from Mike Stapleton. And that came at the 13-minute mark.
Here's Merson, flips it high. And that's a souvenir. Now the Jets appear to have things very much in control, but how many times have we seen that? A club that really can't seem to stand prosperity, and evidence again.
That killer instinct, you would think 4-1, they had a few power plays, they had some chances, and they gave up a shorthanded goal. Russ Courtnall got them back in, and the Canucks just carried it into the third.
Now the puck along the boards in the Vancouver zone. Fraser trying to dig it out. It goes in behind the net with it there. Merson now cut off by Stapleton. Stapleton against Lume. And the puck was knocked down by a high stick. Now Darren Shannon having a few words with Walker, but nothing will come of that.
What's the matter? Couldn't you sleep?
Did you think I wouldn't find out?
Is this about the ring I gave you? Listen, a cubic zirconia looks just like a real diamond. Is this about my time in prison?
You drank the last of the milk.
I've owned this car since 1991. I bought it the first year they made it. I understand there's a new Saturn on the market. I've heard it's got some improvements over the original. There's more headroom, and it's quieter inside. It's got some things in common with the original Saturn, too. That's the same company that stands behind it. Saturn treats its customers like human beings, not like walking wallets. Maybe it's time I thought about getting a second car.
Three stars after the game, Kurt. I think you and I would agree we're looking at one of the three stars. I think maybe the first star. Russ Courtnall has really had a lot of jump tonight, and especially here in the third period. The Courtnall-Linda-Jelena line has dominated, and it's been led by Russ Courtnall.
That line is out there again. Lume gives it to Courtnall. He flipped it out to center. Tverdovsky with it there. Can't get it out. It goes back in now for Manson in the corner. Puts it behind the net. Courtnall was there. Courtnall to Linden. Linden checked by Manson. And Manson will try to get something going for the Jets as he gives it to Drake. Drake gets by Courtnall. Drake gets by Merson. Drake steps in front. Can't get the shot away as Lume. Blocked it. And Merson sends it out to center ice. Shamnov had his pass broken up. Lume goes back into the corner for it. Around now, Shellenut tips it to center ice. And beyond and back forward is Manson. Manson left it there. And now Shamnov gives it right to Shellenut. It goes in front. Drake. Puck goes outside. And with it there is Hannikin, who pumps it into the Jet zone. Manson, 3 minutes and 41 seconds left in the third period. The Canucks lead by 1. Manson fires it in. Doan goes after it. Now Korolev. Korolev and Ronning battle in the Canuck corner. Ronning stays with Korolev. Now Newman gets it back to Korolev. Check. And starting out is Gino Ojek. Ojek tied up by McIver. Newman back. Sends it off the glass. Hannikin run into by Doan. Ojek trying to dig it out. Korolev kicks it ahead. Raleigh knocks it back, and now Newman puts it into Vancouver territory. And back with it is Raleigh. To center ice, it's picked off. Here's Chad Kilger giving it a try. His shot. That was blocked by Raleigh. Puck in the corner. And with it is Ojek. Late pass. Here's McGillney trying to beat Tkachuk. Tkachuk managed to knock him down. And it goes to Drake. To Keith Tkachuk. His pass to Shamnov. To Drake. Drake lets it go. And that's wide. Tavernowski in deep. But the net had been dislodged.
And Don Koharski is pointing in deep. Faceoff staying inside as Jamnov was run into the post. Nice play by McGillney to stay onside, spin in, but a better play by Keith Tkachuk coming back. He got beside McGillney so he wouldn't take the penalty. Side by side, uses his superior strength, knocks him down. That's hard to do. Alexander McGillney is one of the best balanced guys that I've seen. Gets hit from the side, and he has that Gilbert Perreault was the only North American guy that I've seen that was like that. He had feet far apart and very hard to knock off his skates.
Well, quite a show here, I guess, at the end of August when McGillney and Bure and Harvey Bullen and Fedorov and company will be playing against Canada right here in that tournament.
And speaking of Pittsburgh, as the next home game, I was hearing today that Jaromir Jagr is thinking twice about playing in that. He doesn't want to have his vacation interrupted. And Dominik Hasek has already said he's not going to play. But, of course, they're not for the Russian team. But I'm going to have to be a geography student to get the Czechs and the Slovaks and the other different countries separated before the World Cup. Now, Don Koharski's coming over to Terry Simpson to talk about this line change.
2:28 left, third period. Canucks 5, Jets 4. Tkachuk is out with Shamnov and Stapleton. Manson moves up front. Stapleton is back at the point for the faceoff alongside Oleg Tverdovsky. Linden against Tkachuk. Linden wins it. Taken in behind the net now. Shellenut flips it out to center ice and beyond, and going back is Manson. Manson waits. 2:14 left. Gives to Shamnov. He can't get it out. Linden tried it for Courtnall. Manson takes him out of the play. Shamnov puts it around to Stapleton. Stapleton's pass to Tverdovsky, trying to go by Babbage. He goes outside deep, throws it toward the net, knocked down. Stapleton. Check. It's sent ahead. Shamnov trying to cut off Shellenut. 1:47 left. Courtnall dumped it into the Jet zone. Hammerbolden leaves it there for Newman. Both pumps make changes. Stapleton spins with it. Now hands to Newman. 1:34 left. Newman's pass to Korolev. Into the middle. It goes. Here's McIver. McIver works in deep. McIver trying to center. He can't. As Lume takes it. Flips it ahead. Newman back in his zone. Can't get it out. Here's down.
puts it across. McGillney to Baranek. Shot wide. Back with it, McIver. Dowd moves in against him. 1 minute and 4 seconds left. 5-4. The Canucks lead the Jets. It's sent to center ice. Rawlings sends it back in. Newman. Can't clear. McGillney shot. Now it goes to Kilger. Kilger sends it to an open side. Nobody there. Stapleton is knocked down by Baranek. Babbage, 38 seconds left. Haberbolen is still in the goal. Now it's dumped in. Linden goes back for it. There's a penalty coming to the Vancouver Canucks, interference. So with 30 seconds left, the Jets get the man advantage. They trail by 1.
Now, I'm not saying this isn't a penalty, but Don Kowarski has not called a penalty here in the third period. He's put his whistle away. And now he's going to call one with 38 seconds left. Dave Babbage has a hold of Keith Tkachuk. That's a penalty. But he hasn't called any here in the third period. Why would he call that one now? I mean, it's a great break. It's a great break for the Jets. And
you
now,
really expect me to answer that?
Well, the faceoff's down in the Canucks zone. They can get Haberbolen out. Hey, it's a perfect situation. But I can see why the players would get upset. The inconsistency. He hasn't called a penalty here in the third period.
Well, the Jet power play really hasn't been a threat. But they get a glorious opportunity now, albeit for only 30 seconds. They'll have Tkachuk, Zhamnov. Looks like Tverdovsky will be out there. They'll go with 6 attackers.
6 on 4. Looks like Chad Kilger is going to get a chance here with the 2-man advantage.
Well, face-offs have been a key. You mentioned Turcotte being out, and I don't know what happened to Mike Eastwood. Haven't seen him on the ice for a long time. And Stapleton and Eastwood have generally been the guys the Jets have gone to for key face-offs.
Nikolai Haberbolen's back on the ice, but he's going to go and sit down. Maybe just a little miscommunication here. Nikolai Haberbolen is standing over at the bench. Yeah, come on. You can get off the ice now. Unless you want to go and play and be our 6th attacker here.
So the Jets do send out Korolev, Zhamnov, Tkachuk, Kilger, Newman, and to take the face-off, Mike Stapleton. Stapleton against Linden. 30 seconds left. Jets trail by 1. Their net is empty. Off the draw, it goes back to the point. Here's Zhamnov. Now hands it to Korolev. Korolev out front. Stapleton just missed. Newman puts it behind for Tkachuk. Tkachuk is checked, and the Canucks dump it all the way down the ice. It will not be icing because they're short-handed. 10 seconds. That should just about do it. Zhamnov, Newman, Stapleton, Korolev, 3 seconds. Puts it over the line. Tkachuk winds up. The game is over. A huge victory for the Canucks. A devastating defeat for the Jets.
Canucks have only lost 1 of their last 7 games. Twice in the last 3 games, they've come from behind after trailing after 2 periods to win games. And this one, complete domination in the third period. Shots on goal, 13-2 for Vancouver. And especially the Linden line. It dominated, and Rick Lee was matching them up against Alexei Zhamnov's line. And Russ Courtnall, Jelena, and Linden had their way. They dominated. They were in the Winnipeg zone. And when you play 18 out of 20 minutes in your own zone, puck's going to go in your own net.
But I'm sure we'll hear some of those names among the Molson Cup 3 stars, which will be announced shortly. The Vancouver Canucks defeat the Winnipeg Jets 5-4. Stand by for that Molson Cup 3-star selection.
Hey, why not? I don't want to work. I just want to bang
The all-new 96 Toyota 4Runner. Power, room, comfort. Legendary Toyota quality not only lets you go your own way, it makes sure you get there and back.
First time I'm playing Sports Select, right? 2 games, no problem. 1 more, I win. We're up 1 goal. Seconds left. And then, breakaway. He shoots! What a shot! And I'm thinking, oh no, don't blow it. I've come this far. Don't blow it now. And then...
Go ahead. Then what happened?
Well, he plucked it right out of the air. I won. My first crack at it.
There is one thing as mayor that I will never get over, and that is the death of a police officer.
The headline shocked the city.
This is a crisis that can sink us.
The truth could tear it apart.
5 people are dead, and they're connected, and that's all I know. And that's all I want to know.
Al Pacino.
All this is about is getting things done.
John Cusack.
This is body bag stuff.
Bridget Fonda.
Big win by the Vancouver Canucks tonight moves them back into a tie with the St. Louis Blues. We'll talk about it with Gary Wilson right after this.
The Motorola flip phone.
From Cantel Amigo.
It's the perfect gift.
For the one you love.
Cantel Amigo, available at these fine stores.
1 of 5 collisions every day that I deal with is caused by tailgating. Tailgating is basically traveling too close to the vehicle ahead of you. You do your shoulder check to find out if it's okay for you to go, and in the meantime, for whatever reason, the driver ahead of you has stopped his vehicle, and you haven't seen that. So many of the collisions that we see at MPI could have been prevented if the drivers were just more road-wise.
It's comforting to know there is a better route. WestJet. From just $79 one way to Edmonton. WestJet. Way to go.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, it's Mohawk. Don't they re-refine their oil?
Yeah, it's better for the environment.
And their re-refined oil meets or exceeds the North American specifications of every major auto manufacturer in the world.
Sorry.
Mohawk re-refined oil. Good for the environment, good for your car.
Time now for the Vernos Auto Body Crunch of the Game. This came in the first period, courtesy of the Canucks tough guy, Gino Odjick. And the man he's going to run, somewhat illegally, it did cost him a 2-minute penalty, was Darren Turcotte. Turcotte was injured didn't play after that. The crunch of the game brought to you by Vernos Auto Body, family owned and operated for over 40 years. Kerry Wilson, at the end of the game, Kurt Keelback said that was a devastating loss for the Winnipeg Jets, and I'd have to agree.
Yeah, it's really tough. The team comes out, they establish a 4-1 lead. Give Habby Boulin a lot of credit for keeping that goal down to 1, but then they come out in the third period, they go into a defensive shell, and Vancouver has no trouble shattering that shell, coming on and just handling the play the whole third period.
Big win for the Vancouver Canucks, keeps them even in points at least with the St. Louis Blues. The Blues were 3-2 winners tonight over Tampa Bay. The Jets stay where they are. They could have leapfrogged past Calgary, but they don't. They stay at 50 points. LA at 48. They also lost tonight, and the Flames also losing this evening. Looking ahead for the Jets, they come home now. They play 5 of their next 6 games at home, starting with the Pittsburgh Penguins on Friday night, and Mario Lemieux, we hear, will not play for the Penguins.
Well, that aside, you know that Pittsburgh is going to be an offensive force. Winnipeg's going to have to come back and work on their defensive game again. We hear it over and over again. They've got to start taking the body more, play a little closer to the vest. The scoring is going to take care of itself. I mean, they're getting the goals, but they've just got to tighten up defensively.
Yeah, they seem to be physically outmanned this evening, and that was quite a surprise for this hockey team.
Well, they can play a more physical game. They've got the size. I think they're going to look for Kilger to start throwing his weight around. That will come. But again, yes, they can play a more physical game. I think Keith Tkachuk could stand up a little bit more and maybe lead that team in that direction.
All right, it'll be interesting to see how the Jets react after this loss as they take on the Pittsburgh Penguins this Friday. Kerry Wilson, thank you very much, and we'll be talking to you, of course, in the near future. Our Molson Jets hockey telecast still have lots to tell you about. We'll return right after this.
Petro Points is even more rewarding. Use your Petro Points membership card and you could win thousands of points prizes instantly. Or 1 of 10 new Plymouth Breezes. Almost 600 Petro Points members will win every day. You might win a new Plymouth Breeze. Then again, you might win all 10.
Oh, Harold, not again.
Petro Points, the points program for your car from Canada's gas station.
When you buy a mutual fund, aren't you really investing in a professional money manager? Well, at CI Mutual Funds, we've got the right people in the right places. Like John Zechner, managing CI's Canadian portfolios, Sean Chan, advising the Asia-Pacific funds, and Bill Sterling, our global strategist in New York. Each highly respected, well-connected, and performance-driven. Your financial advisor knows CI's money managers. All you have to do is ask.
The Big Easy at Jim Gauthier. What is it? Well, basically, it's just a simple system whereby you and the big guy share ownership in a vehicle for 2, 3, 4 years. When the term is up, you've got 3 options to choose from. You can either purchase the vehicle at a guaranteed low price, you can take out another for 2, 3, or 4 years, or you can simply walk away. The Big Easy, part of the package here at Jim Gauthier, Chevrolet, Geo, Cadillac, home of the big buy.
On McPhillips, north of Inkster.
Promotional considerations provided by Waltham Watches, a name known for prestige and quality since 1857. Elegant styling and the latest in technology. A name you can trust in modern timepieces. Waltham.
People the confidence to be their best, to give that extra effort, to go the distance. A lot depends on the equipment they choose. At Athletes Wear, we've got the best selection. Hit the trails this winter with this Solomon cross-country ski package. Famous Solomon quality boots and bindings, complete with skis and poles, all at a package saving of 25%. Athletes Wear, still the right choice.
The choice is there. Athletes Wear.
Oh, yeah.
The lap of luxury.
I'm not very good at being good.
Every privilege. Few responsibilities.
Trust me, if we just ignore it, it'll go away.
They still have human problems.
Sorry. You're my best friend. The truth is, I've outgrown this place, right?
Beverly Hills 90210. Wednesday at 7 on CKND, Winnipeg TV.
Play Safeway Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win an IBM Aptiva multimedia computer, a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven, Dirt Devil's MVP and Dust Devil from Royal Appliance, or $300 in MasterCard traveler's checks from the Bank of Montreal. You could also win a trip for 2 to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway's participating products, Robin Hood Flour, and Quaker Chewy granola bars. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
Dave has a dilemma. What to put on Wendy's new bacon cheeseburger?
Dave, something mild. Play it safe. Come on, don't be a wimp. Give it some zing. Oh no, Gouda would be nice. Spice it up. How about pepper jack? Oh my.
Well, Dave started cooking. A quarter pound of fresh ground beef, bacon, the perfect sauce, and a slice of pepper jack cheese for a bacon cheeseburger that's really spicy.
Oh, Dave, be careful. Mind your own business. Attaboy.
Wendy's new pepper jack bacon cheeseburger.
Gotta be the cheese.
Tonight's Safeway Score and Win grand prize winner will receive a trip for 2 to Mazatlan, Mexico, where you and a guest will spend 7 glorious days on the sun-drenched beaches at the Caravel Beach Club, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Tonight's grand prize winner is Mr. Don Driver of Winnipeg, who entered Score and Win by attaching a proof of purchase from Yolk Plate Yogurt. Fill out a ballot at your local Safeway. Score and Win at Safeway. Today's better way. Don Driver was a winner tonight in our Safeway Score and Win contest, and here were the other winners because the Jets scored 4 goals. Helen Shui of Brandon wins a Texas Instruments personal organizer. Mark Thomas of Winnipeg wins a Macassa 20-piece dinnerware set. Rhonda Loeb of Beausejour, as we go around the province, congratulations to you. You've won a Gold Star Touch 2 VCR. And Bill Norman of Winnipeg wins a set of quality appliances from TFL. Well, we said at the top of the program tonight that this game would be sort of an acid test for the Winnipeg Jets, the chemistry that John Paddock and Terry Simpson were hoping to build with the Tamo Solani trade. Well, after this game, they may have to go back to chemistry school and come up with a new formula as the Jets lose it 5-4 to the Vancouver Canucks. The Jets return home now, play 5 of their next 6 games at the arena. Their next game will be against the Pittsburgh Penguins this Friday. Our next Molson Jets hockey telecast comes your way 1 week from tomorrow night when the Vancouver Canucks come east to play the Jets. That'll be at 7:30, and then 2 nights later on the 23rd, the Friday night, it'll be the Chicago Blackhawks. So 2 games next week on CKND. The final score tonight, the Vancouver Canucks over the Winnipeg Jets 5-4. Good night from Vancouver and Winnipeg. Tonight's telecast of Molson Jets hockey on CKND was brought to you by Molson Canadian. The executive producer of Molson Jets hockey is Ron Harrison. Our producer in Vancouver tonight, Larry Isaac. The producer and director here in Winnipeg, John Sapala. The director in Vancouver, Ron Forsythe. And the production manager for CKND, Tim Jones.
Get out and enjoy. Festival du Voyageur. You're watching Winnipeg TV, CKND.
Can't you kids do something different for a change?
Introducing new Taco Supreme Doritos with the great taste of Taco Bell in a Dorito. And right now, get a regular size bag free with the purchase of any delicious Taco Bell Big Fill combo. It's an awesome meal starting as low as just $3.49 each plus tax. Free Taco Bell Supreme Doritos with any Big Fill combo for a limited time only. Only at...
For adults only, where the action is. 1-900-451-5353. Get to know intimate secrets about someone special at 1-900-451-5353. Connect with an exciting stranger or a good friend 24 hours a day at 1-900-451-5353. Just one phone call can spice up your day or change your life. Call now. $5 per minute.
Wow! Look who we have here.
Just your friendly neighborhood M&Ms. Sit down.
The same M&Ms that come in the bag?
Same ones. Only bigger.
With a colorful shell, just like this?
The actor's catching on.
And rich milk chocolate on the inside?
Yes.
Oh, then I'm really glad you came by.
Why is that?
Because I'm all out. Which one of you is Peanut?
He is. I hear he's delicious. So long, buddy.
With the glimmering brilliance and the astonishing clarity of fine crystal, Piat Stemware has been selected by our international buyers for its extraordinary design, sparkling cuts, and exceptional value. Exclusively made by one of the finest glassmakers in France, a set of 10 could easily cost $59.50. But you can acquire this beautiful stemware at Domo. Each goblet is only 99 cents or less.